Yeah,
some of the courses need to be worked on though. Some of the course material is lost, but Kurt is working on that right now.
I was gonna low-key refilm them. But anyways, I gotta go live.
Okay. All
right. Catch you later, bye.
And by the way, guys, if you don't know yet, or if you haven't closed any deals yet, TCs and title companies are very helpful in this kind of thing. Richard.
Yo.
How's it going?
How are we doing?
Pretty good. I had a lot. So I had my first 30 minutes of my live stream, but then I had to replace the battery out of my car and then the guy came with a new battery. So I had to run down and then I ran back up. So it was a all over the place kind of stream, but it was fun. We went over cash and seller finance a little bit.
Hell yeah. Appreciate it, man. Thanks so much for doing this.
Oh yeah, cool. Yeah, guys, you guys are in good hands. I learned everything I know from this guy, so pay attention. I'm out of here. I'll also drop a coaching link in the chat before I get out of here, but I'm out. See you guys.
See ya, guys. All right, guys. Demo day. It's going to be great. I'm going to show you guys some stuff, okay? Some new strategies we've been working on. I think we've got some really cool stuff to show you today, guys. Yeah. We'll do some demos. I'll try to keep them as short as possible, but this is going to be for all of my new members. How many new people do we have in here? I just joined. I'm so psyched. Dude, we cannot wait to have you here. We'll do some questions here shortly. We're just going to jump right into this. I think the live stream will slowly trickle up to more people, but for the sake of time, I'm just going to jump into it. So welcome if this is your first live stream, guys. I'll briefly break down what it is that we're doing here. A lot of people, I always say this, it's a little bit tired, but 11,000 houses are selling per day in the United States. It's kind of an unfathomable number. And real estate investors like myself, we don't really want to find our own deals. So I know this may be hard to believe, but guys, I'm happy to pay you a 5 to 10K finder's fee if you bring me a deal, because I don't pay it. My lender pays it. So I don't really have to pay the finder's fee on a cash deal because my lender is going to cover your fee, right? So as a real estate investor, I'm willing to pay not necessarily a premium for the deal, but a finder's fee if you find a deal at a discount, right? And most real estate investors are willing to do the same, right? So I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to talk about what real estate investors are looking for the most part, and then what my best strategies are for getting those done. If I were to break it up into 3 different types of deals that I see happening, I do mortgage takeover deals. What is a mortgage takeover? Well, some houses are not valuable because they're houses or their price is good, but some houses are valuable because they have a really good interest rate on their mortgage. So debt can be good and debt can be bad. You know what I'm saying? We could have good debt. What's an example of good debt? A 2.7% interest rate like the one I have on my house in Memphis, Tennessee. That's really, really good debt. What's bad debt? A reverse mortgage. Ooh. Reverse mortgage. That's a really scary type of debt. Not exactly what we'd want to take over. What's another type of bad debt? A credit line, a line of credit against a property. So some houses are valuable, not because they're at a good price, but because their underlying mortgage is valuable, or perhaps the amount of money that we could spend to get into that deal is valuable. Well, what do I mean by that? Well, let's say the interest rate is really high, not a good interest rate, not good debt. What's another thing that might make that debt valuable? Well, if the debt is at the seller's asking price, conceivably, they'd just let you take it over, right? So maybe it's not good debt, but maybe what it is you could take over this okay debt for a very low price, right? Much lower than you typically have to spend. So let's go backwards a little bit and remember, all we're doing here, because that got a little bit hairy pretty quickly, all we're doing here is We're finding houses for real estate investors. And at the surface level, that's a lowball offer. Hey there, Mr. Seller. I see you're looking for 90. I just got pre-approved for 50. You think we should present it or not? And it's not so much Mr. Seller. It's more so, hey there, Mr. or Mrs. Realtor. I'm calling about your listing on 123 Main Street. I see you're looking for 90,000. I got pre-approved at 50. You know, you can shoot the messenger, but I just got pre-approved at 50. Do you think that we should present this or not? Because if you don't think we should present this, we shouldn't present it, right? Kind of pitching yourself like that. So that's the basis of this industry. Get a house at a discount, receive a finder's fee. However, when you add in creative finance, it becomes a little bit more nuanced. So for our new members here today, I'll start with cash deals. And then I'll graduate to creative finance. Now, if you get overwhelmed at any time, guys, and you feel like it's starting to erase all of the stuff that you just learned, tap out. I know I can move kind of quickly. So if you want to take it one subject at a time and you only have the bandwidth for one subject, I would say just watch my review of that subject and then head out of the live stream. Because if you're the type of person who's like, you're going to give me all of this information on day one, I might get analysis paralysis. Just take in one. Now, where do we find the call scripts? I write scripts from time to time. Like I've got this one that I call the shitty house script, and that does work for people. However, the reason that we don't really do scripts is because I don't really believe in them. I'll drop a script in the chat for you right now. Here's a script that I wrote for shitty houses. But the reason we don't really do scripts is because I don't believe in them. So what do we do instead? Well, I'm here every day. You know what I mean? I'm here every single day to show you guys how to do it. And when you're in school, they don't exactly give you scripts. They demonstrate the process, right? It's the same thing here. I'm not going to give you a recipe. I'm not going to give you a script. I'm going to show you how it's done 3 hours a day, every day. And if you show up to class, you're going to learn how to do it as well. However, I did just drop a script in the chat, and I'll also let you know that if you haven't taken our courses, go ahead and take our courses. Okay, so I do want to answer one question about analysis paralysis. If you have analysis paralysis, do not try to get a deal. Just make a call. So what could that look like? Well, I'll share my screen and I'll show you what to do. So if you already understand the concepts, but you're too scared to take action, you tell me if you think you could do this, okay? You tell me if you think you could do this. Hi, I'm calling about your listing on 126 Jones Avenue. I'm trying to get pre-qualified. Could you tell me what the rent is? Awesome. Great. $1,200 a month? Okay. Thanks so much. I'll bring that to my lender and I'll call you back. Don't get a deal? Just say that. Because you doing that is so much better than you getting scared and not doing anything. So let's lower the bar. Let's make it a lot easier to take action. And we're not trying to get a deal now. We're not trying to get a deal. Hey, I was calling about Jones Avenue. I was just curious. I couldn't see what the rent was. Could you tell me what the rent is? Awesome. I'll go to my lender with that. Thanks so much. Bye-bye. And stop there. So if you're really nervous, if you're too scared to call, I get that. I've been there. One of my first calls that I did, I hung up. I started the phone call. I was like, hi, I'm calling about your listing on 123 Main Street. I just want to do, and then I froze and I got so scared and I just hung up the phone. So guys, doing that is way better than like, oh, I'm not really sure if, cut it out. 11,000 houses sell per day. You could be a deal finder for one of those houses. So if we're too scared to take action, hey, what's the rent that you're getting on this? Oh, you're vacant? Okay, got it. I'll bring that to my lender. Thanks so much. Bye-bye. Okay. So that's not that that's going to get you a deal. That's hopefully going to make this a little bit easier for you because now there's no pressure. Now you just said hi to somebody. Can you say hi? Yes, you can say hi. So say hi. That's all you need to do. Well, to beat your analysis paralysis, we have more that we need to do to get a deal. So let's talk about cash deals first. I want to keep it simple. House at discount. Good. That's cash deals. Do you understand? You could be a fucking caveman and understand it. House at discount. Good. That's it. That's it. So let's learn a little bit more about that. Is it good if nobody lives there? No. Where do I see so many new members dropping the ball? Y'all are calling in the middle of nowhere. Y'all are calling in the middle of nowhere, or you only stick with the place that you live. Bro, you're calling in the place that you live. Are you actually going to go out and meet that person face to face? No, you're not going to do that. You're still calling. So you're doing it virtually from where you live. But there's no difference because you're calling, not meeting face to face, in doing it in another market, right? So where are the top 5 places I think you should be looking right now? Well, for cash deals, not necessarily for creative finance, and definitely not for creative finance, I should say. Memphis, Cleveland, Detroit, Birmingham. Got to pick this last one carefully. I'm torn between St. Louis and Indianapolis. St. Louis and Indianapolis. Let's say that one more time. Memphis, Cleveland. So collapsing cities. You're onto something. Yes, I'm not even going to deny it. I just went to Detroit and I was like, get me the fuck out of here. But with that said, there's great money over there. You know why? Because every single market in the United States doesn't cash flow, except for collapsing cities. What do I mean by that? Well, I had a guy today, and he was like, hey, should I invest in New Jersey? And I was like, multifamily? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, aren't they like $1 million to $2 million over there for a duplex? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, you know, to buy $1 million building, you got to come up with over 200 grand as a down payment. And then monthly you pay like 8K and it rents out for 7 or 6K, right? You lose thousands per month. So these collapsing cities, these terrible markets, I get it, bad places to live. You buy a house for 150K, your mortgage is $1,000. If that's a duplex, it's going to rent out for $2,600. So yes, collapsing, and I don't even know why I put quotes, collapsing, hopefully getting better in the future, but these quote unquote collapsing cities are really good. Very, very good. Yes. Moving out of the sun as that shit is rotating. Just moving into my shade zone. Yes, collapsing cities. Okay, so we'll start with rental properties because there's two. Ooh, what a great quote. Equity comes, equity goes, the cash will always flow. Somebody just dropped that quote in my comment section, and this has got to be the best quote of all time. What he's saying is equity comes, meaning value goes up, value goes down. Markets go down, markets go up. Equity comes, equity goes, but the cash will always flow, meaning I don't care what my house is worth as long as it's always cash flowing. And honestly, as you begin to understand creative finance, that is going to be such a key quote for you. It's so powerful. When you understand what it means, it's very powerful. If you're new to this, it's going to take some time. So there's 2 reasons that people buy properties for the most part, right? Obviously there's niche reasons, but if I were to branch it into 2 different reasons, I would say people buy properties to cash flow, and which is rent. How do you cash flow? Rent. And people buy properties to, anybody want to take a guess? Any new members? Some people buy properties to cash flow or rent them out, and some people buy shitty properties to, well, wait a second. Can you rent out a really destroyed property? No, nobody's going to live there. So what do you do with the destroyed property? Flip. That's right. Fix and flip. So you did a good job. You got the question right. So some people rent out properties. Some people flip properties. Now, there are different catalysts or vectors or as I say, reasons to pull the trigger. What do I mean by pulling the trigger? Well, when you sign your name on the line on that loan and you're ready to close the deal, what factors made you do that, right? What are the factors that made you do that for a rental property? What are the factors that made you do that for a fix and flip? We need to understand inside a buyer's buying decision if we are going to source deals for that buyer. Now, a little bit of motivation before we jump into it. Let's pick one market. Just one. My favorite market. Not a market that I'd like to live in, but my favorite market, Detroit, Michigan. Now, the motivation that I'd like to select for you before we jump into what makes a rental property a good deal and what makes a fix and flip a good deal is the scale at which this is happening. The scale at which this is happening. What do I mean by that? What are you talking about, huh? Well, if I highlight the Detroit metro market, right? Everywhere that we would consider to be pretty much Detroit. How many houses you think sell every 2 weeks? How about every week? Anybody want to take a guess? I'll take a guess. How many houses sell in Detroit every week? I'm going to say 700. I'm going to say 700. I think 700 sell per week. Anybody got any other guesses in here? How many houses sell in Detroit per week? I'm going to say 700. I could be so wrong about that. I don't know. Well, let's take a peek. Oh my goodness, 403. Now that's Zillow listings. You see, when you buy a house off market, it doesn't populate here. This is the past week of sales. The past week. Now here's something else I want to show you. Do you think somebody bought this house to live in it? What do you think? You think somebody bought that to live in it? What do we think? What about that one? You think we bought that to live in it? That 2-bed, 1-bath, 800 square foot box. Somebody buy that to live in it? What would happen if we put a price filter in of $100,000? What happened if we put a price filter in of $80,000? Well, now look at this. You think somebody bought this house to live in it for $22K? What about this one for $21K? Or this one for $26K? No. You see, these are investors. So what I want to let you know is that in a single week, 440 houses sold. And it's much more than that. And that's not in the United States. That's one city. So every single day, 63 houses that you could have been a part of. 63. Do you understand the scale? Now, how many are listed for sale in one city? Okay, sure. They're buying them left and right. It's absolutely insane. How many are listed for sale in one city? 7,400. And if I go to the greater metro area, 10,362. A lot of these sales are investors. You could capture up to 63 deals per day in Detroit. Okay, sure. We're not going to do 63 deals a day, but one could. The volume is there, right? So that's just one city. If the question is, is there enough to go around? Are there really enough deals on Zillow? How do I work with a realtor? Just look at the sales that are happening and then put in a price filter to see that these are not properties that could be purchased by a person to live in. These are destroyed properties, rental properties, right? What do you think about Germany? It seems like a great place. I'd love to go to Stuttgart and see the BMW or Porsche factory. I don't know, or museum. I forget. Anyways, so the question that we were seeking to answer prior to this was, what makes a rental a rental? What makes a flip a flip? Well, let's see. Guys, I'm going to give you a choice. Would you like me to show you what makes a rental by finding it? Or do you want me to review a random audience member's rental property and tell you if it makes sense? Review random deal from an audience member who has something? Or find my own? What would be more valuable? Find it, review. It's kind of a mix of both. Okay, I'll find one and then I'll review one because y'all want to do both. Now, right now I'm sharing my screen with about 236 people. These people right here, they've got a much better camera and there's 236 of them in the audience and they're just watching. They're commenting and they're watching. They can see me sharing my screen. Y'all can see me sharing my screen too on TikTok. All you have to do to see my screen share, go to your TikTok, click the link in my bio. It's the first one. First link in my bio, you can see my screen share as I do this. Okay, so let's go ahead and figure out what makes a rental a rental. Well, how about this property right here? Good rental, bad rental. What do you think? Here's a property. What do we think? Good rental, bad rental? I don't know. Looks like a decent property, right? Well, good rental, bad rental doesn't really have to do with the condition of the property. I mean, maybe it has to do with the condition of the property. More so, it has to do with the price point. The price point. So when I think good rental, bad rental, as a person who has 23 rental properties, I think about what's my mortgage, what's the rent. So, I mean, it looks to be an okay condition, but I'm not thinking about that first and foremost. I'm thinking if I buy this for 135, twofold. How much do I need to put down? 27K, 20%. And what do I pay monthly? Well, I probably pay about $718 monthly. That's what my calculator on my screen is showing me. And $250 for taxes and insurance. So I'd be paying about $968, and I've got to drop about $36K to buy this. Whoa. That was really quick. How did we do that? Well, they're asking 135. I know my lender will want me to put down 20%. That's everybody's lender, right? So they're asking $135,000. My lender wants me to put down 20%, right? 20%, 27K. This is the interest rate most lenders are giving right now. And then I can also see that this would be my monthly payment. So let's see. Is this a good rental or not a good rental? Well, I'm going to go to Zillow Rental Manager, and I'm going to find out what it might rent out for. Okay, so it's going to rent for $1,450, and you pay $968. But your $1,450, probably not really $1,450, right? You got expenses. So I mean, you're renting for $1,450. Probably 20% comes off the top, right? 20% for expenses. So your $1,450 is closer to $1,160. You're paying $968. So this is how much you make. So to look at this and say, is this a good rental, is to look at the purchase price and the rent and the mortgage. So let's remove the house, and I'll just tell you about the deal. You give me $36K. I give you $192 a month. Deal or no deal? What do you think? I mean, it's subjective. It's up to you. Right? So what is that a deal that you'd be down for? You give me 36, that's your down payment, and I give you 192. I mean, what do we think? A lot of people are saying no deal in the chat. Deal or no deal? At which, okay, let me tell you this way. If you give me 36, how much can I give you back on year one? Not month one, year one. The stock market would give you about 10%. What is 10% of 36? What is that, 3,600? 3,600 is the stock market, and you're generally okay with that, right? You're generally okay with that, right? I don't feel very good about that. Do y'all feel good about that? I give you 36,000, or you give me 36, and I give you back 3,600. Tyrone says, "Yikes!" But the thing is, that's investing. That's investing. That's typically how investing goes. You give me 36,000, and I give you 3,600. That's usually how investing goes. Doesn't feel very good, does it? That's not that good. Well, that's the most common investment vehicle. The most common investment vehicle is the stock market. How much would you like back? How much would you like back? Like if I broke into your house and I stole $36,000 from you, how much would you like back on year one for you to not throw a shit fit? I would like back 7,500. I'd like back 7,500 or so. So for me to feel okay about that, if you give me 7,500 per year, I would be okay giving you 36, right? But next year, I probably want 8,500. And the year after that, I probably want 9,500, maybe 10, right? So what sort of return am I comfortable with? Well, if I want $7,500 back on 36,000, looks like I'm okay with about a 21% return, right? So it looks like I'm okay with about a 21% return. Real estate investors, They're okay with it too. That's how much I would like, because I am your customer, or I am your buyer. I'm happy to get back essentially 21% of my money, because I know that the stock market will give me about half of that. So if I'm doubling the stock market, that's pretty good, right? So let me ask you guys again. Good rental or bad rental? It's subjective. The deal is, you give me $36K, I give you $192, aka $2,300. Nah, come on, man. You might as well put your money in the stock market at that point. That's not a good deal. That's a bad deal. Well, let's see if we can find one that's good. How long do you think it would take me to find a good deal? Is it hard to find a good deal? Let's find out. I'm going to go for sale, and I'm going to put in a price filter of 150,000. 150,000. And I like cash flow, so I'm going to price high to low, and I'm going to look for multifamily. And I want it to be clean. So what's this thing looking like? How clean is this looking? Ooh, not very clean. Looks kind of shit. Yeah, I don't know. I definitely want something that looks good. That looks good, but I can't really see what the interior looks like. What about you? I mean, you need a renovation. I can see your bathtub's all fucked up. What about you? Your windows are a little, I mean, it's close. It's close. It's not quite there. What about you? Yeah, I mean, you're all lived in, aren't you? So it seems like I'm going to need to be a little bit more expensive if I want a turnkey property. So maybe 170, maybe 170,000. Let's see what this guy's looking like. Oh, nice. Wow. Yeah, so you don't really need any work, do you? Just for 20K more. So I'm going to imagine that I could get this guy at 150, right? I'm going to say, I bet I could get you at 150. You're looking for 170, call it 145, because that's been there for over 2 months. They've been there for 2 months. Can you imagine sitting on market for 2 months? Well, I think this at 145 would be a good rental. Let's test it. How do we test it? Well, back to that calculator I showed you. And you're like, wait, I need that calculator. Don't worry, I've got you. Click File, make a copy. File, make a copy. It's not going to work if you request access. I can't give you access to the original, but you can click File, make a copy. So remember what we're after, finder's fees. So if I get it at 145, how much y'all want to make? Name your price. How much of a finder's fee do you want? Maybe 2 times what you make in a month. How much you make in a month? What do you think? 7K? 7K for 2 months? 3,500 a month? Happy with 5Gs? Okay, this guy says he's happy with 5K. So if I get it for 145, maybe my buyer would pay 150. Well, maybe. I don't really know. We got to find out. 150,000. Anybody remember the down payment percentage? The down payment percentage was, anybody remember? 20%. That's right. 20%. That's right. Okay. So what's 20% of 150? 30. Okay. 30,000. Got it. Okay. So we're looking at a 7% interest rate, $798 per month. Taxes and insurance, $798. They're told to me on Zillow. So Zillow is telling me taxes and insurance, about $310 for taxes and insurance. So I'm paying about $1,100. Okay. How much is this thing going to rent out for? I don't know. I mean, I don't really know what they'd rent out for, but I do know it's fully renovated. So I know that. Let's figure out what it might rent out for. I'll just zoom in and I'll see what's for rent here. Fortunately, I own the neighbor's house, so I have kind of a good idea of what it might rent out for. Yeah, so for rent, here's a unit for $1,000. Here's another unit for $1,300. Here's another unit for $1,050. Here's another unit for $975. Okay, so what do you think, like $1,200? Oh, look, here's the actual house. They're trying to rent the actual house for $1,300 a unit. Great. So that's what they're looking to get. I would imagine that they're going to get $1,200 because somebody will negotiate. So, you pay $1,100. and you bring in 2,400 because it's a duplex. So you got 2,400 times 2. So 2,400, sure, that comes in, but it's not really 2,400. There's expenses, there's management, there's vacancy, there's repairs. So we're going to take 20% off. Let's call it 1,900 coming in. Your monthly obligation is 1,108. So monthly, instead of 192, now you make 812. Great. How much do you need to spend to buy this? 40K. So how do we feel about that? You give me 40K, I give you back 800 a month. How about we visualize that yearly? You give me 40K and I give you back 10K a year. After 4 years, you've made your money back and then you're just profiting. You know what? That's better than the stock market by a lot. What return is that? Well, it's 25%, about 24.2%. Let's guess. I'm going to say 24.6%. Let's see if I'm a savant. I'm literally magic. It's 24.36%. So yeah, that's a 24. How did I know? Well, how many times does 10K go into 40,000? 4 times. What's 100 divided by 4? 25. What's slightly less than that? 24 point something. So yeah, 24% return on an investment. What pyramid scheme is this, Unc? I want in. I'll tell you, the pyramid scheme is insane. Essentially, the same way you DoorDash food, real estate investors, people who buy houses for rental properties or fix and flips, they'll DoorDash the house, but you can't bring a house to somebody. What can you bring them? A deal, a deal. Hello, Mr. Real Estate Investor. Look at this beautiful discounted property. Would you like it? You would? Well, sorry, it's mine. I'm under contract. Yeah, you thought, huh? Yeah, you thought. Yeah. Okay, I'll tell you what. You give me 5K, I'll write your name on this contract instead. And let me tell you another example. Let me tell you another example. Mom and dad are looking to buy a house for 400K, right? Mom and dad trying to buy a house for 400K. In the middle of the night, you wake up and you're like, I have an idea. I've got an idea. I'm going to call every house that's listed for 400K in my neighborhood. Maybe there's 20 of them. Maybe there's 30. See how many houses were for sale? Then one of them agrees to sell for 350, right? You go back to mom and dad and you're like, Mom, Dad, you guys want to pay 400 for that house, right? You know, one of them's willing to sell for 350. And they say, that's great. Which one, sweetie? Which one is it? Do you want to tell us? And you're like, for 5K. For 5K, I'll tell you. I mean, if you're the parents, what are you doing? What are you doing? You know, you want to buy a house, right? You want to buy a house and your kid calls all the houses that are for sale in your city and finds one that'll sell for 50K less than they're asking, right? And then you tell your mom, you're like, Mom, Dad, guess what? I found one. They'll sell for 350 instead of 400. And they're like, which one, sweetie? And you're like, see, that's the thing. I'm not going to tell you. It took me a long time to call all these people. You give me 5K, I'll give you the address. Is your mentorship real? No, it's fake. It's fake. The idea that people renovate houses for profit, fake. Anytime you've ever seen a renovation project, you know what you're actually seeing? A fog machine and a projector projecting a construction project onto the fog. You know how your house has a newer renovation? You're asleep right now. You know how those people are sleeping in bubbles in the Matrix? Yeah. No, your house doesn't have new LVP. Your landlord that sent somebody to renovate the house after you moved out, that's fake. That's what they want you to think. What's actually happening is you're fast asleep in a human flesh orb and you're actually in the Matrix and you need to wake up. And this is me telling you to wake up and pull out your head snake. So yeah, people flip houses. I'm one of them. And if you find me one, I'll give you a little bit of a fee. Okay, so we just discovered what it means for somebody to pull the trigger on a rental property, right? Could we illustrate what that means? Could we say that one more time? Well, if that rental property is at a bit of a discount, and what do I mean by discount? Probably 70% of what it's listed for. And it doubles the stock market and its potential to make you money, you got yourself a deal. So where do most of these fall through? Well, y'all don't get them at a discount. Y'all are like, oh, they're listed for 150. I'm gonna offer 140 and then my buyer will pay 150. No, bro, you missed the point. You didn't do anything for them. They could have done that shit themselves. In fact, you took a deal from them. They could have bought that house for your contract price, and instead you locked that property up. You wasted the seller's time. You wasted the agent's time, and you offered them pretty much their asking price, knowing that you had no intention of closing and that you didn't secure a discount for somebody who did. Right? So one of the most common places I see y'all dropping the ball is that you offer what they're asking. That's not what we do. How much do you charge to mentor? Well, my screen is shared on Discord right now. I've got about 300 people watching. That costs $20 a month. I know. I know. You can watch my screen share as I do this live and demonstrate it for $20 a month. The link is in my bio. Anyways, so if we're buying a rental property, guys, here's the formula we're going to use. We want it to not be rural. Can't be rural. No. Cannot be rural. We want it to be at a discount, and it needs to be in good condition. The other place that I see y'all go wrong is you make an offer on a shitty property, a really shitty property. So let's say that one more time. Not rural. Not rural. Don't get a rural property under contract. Don't do that shit. You're wasting your time. You're wasting everybody's time. Don't offer what they're asking or anywhere near that shit. If you're doing a cash deal, your value is the discount that you provide. As a buyer, I don't want to pay you $5K to do something I could have done in one phone call, right? And then the other thing is, a lot of y'all offer on rental properties as if they were fix and flips. You know what I mean by that? You say, I've got a rental property, it cash flows at 20%, and then I look at it and the roof is cooked, the siding's cooked, the mechanicals are destroyed. And I'm like, dog, this ain't no rental property. This is a fix and flip. So the three places that you're likely to drop the ball, it's rural. It's not discounted. And it's in really bad condition, and you're expecting somebody to rent it out. So there you go. Now, again, what would be a good one? What would be a good deal? What makes sense? This at about 140, about 140K. This at about 140K right here. So this thing on my screen that 300 people are watching right now at 140K. Oh, you can't see my screen? Well, you could click the link in my bio. How do I spend $30,000 that I have saved up? Book a call with me. You can book a call with me via the link in my bio. We'll just be one-on-one, just you and me. We'll review your finances and what the best investment decision to make with your money is. I met with a woman today, $300,000 to spend, asked me how to place that money. Most people are not in that position, but if you are, you could book a call. If you're not in that position and you're like, I have no money and I need money, great. Find me my next house to purchase and I'll give you a check, right? That's free. You don't need a license for that. That's free. You just go on Zillow, right? Anyways, the next question is, what makes a fix and flip a fix and flip? Well, we have somebody who's got one. Who's got one? Who's got a fix and flip to show me? Oh, Miss Lula has a fix and flip to show me. She's coming up. She's going to come up. She's going to show me. I live in Los Angeles. I'd love to find houses. Do it, man. I live in Portland, Oregon, and I find houses in Detroit and other areas in the Midwest and South. Now, this time, we're going to review a fix and flip and see if it's a good deal or a bad deal. And then we're going to talk about why and how to find ones that make sense. And honestly, I'm the guy to talk to about this. I'm running 3 fix and flips right now. I'd like to be running 6. Anyways, Miss Lula, where are you calling out of today?
I'm from Kenya. I'm calling from Nairobi,
This is
and
excellent. This
I
is
got one
excellent.
under contract today.
Hold on. You're in Nairobi, Kenya?
Yes.
You're telling me you got a house under contract today?
Yeah, well, this is technically my first deal. I had another deal the other day and it didn't work out. So this is my first fix and flip.
Well, I've got a little bit of Hope Core for you. In the United States, Hope Core is like inspiration. One of my last fix and flips, 13605 Tacoma Street, this was found by a man in Nairobi, Kenya.
That's my
Kenya.
friend.
You know him?
Yeah. We used to work together.
Well, this is perfect. You've got a great mentor here. He knows exactly what I'm looking for, and he's already done it. So you could most certainly do it too. Let's go ahead and take a peek at your flip. I'm a buyer. Show me what you've got.
Do you need the address?
I would love the address if you're comfortable sharing.
Sure. Yeah, I have it under contract already. It's 7600 Doyle Street, DOYLE.
Well, now I'm nervous because I really want you to win. I want you to succeed so bad. And I hope this is a good one. So first thing I'm saying about this property, needs a new roof. Not the end of the world. Not the end of the world. And then moving on into the interior of the property. Am I sharing my screen, by the way? Looks like floors need to be refinished. So we need to see this interesting popping up of the wood that we see in the floors. Need to sand those down, refinish them. Bathrooms looking pretty good. Yeah, so we got a small rehab here, light rehab. You probably got $10K to fix that roof and maybe $5K in cosmetics. So I would view this as, what do you think? Rental property or fix and flip?
It's a fix and flip mainly because of the roof.
That's right. That's exactly right. You're so locked in. I love it. So this is perfect. It's listed at $77,000. TikTok will give you a little peek of what she's looking at here. This is what she's looking at. This is who we're talking to. We're speaking to Miss Lula here, and Miss Lula has this property under contract, and I might be down to flip this thing, or my business partner, or one of my friends, as everybody I know is flipping houses right now. So it's listed at 77. One of the most important things we discussed is a discount. What sort of discount do you have for us today?
I have it at 58.
My girl, that's what I'm talking about. Nice discount, guys. It's listed for 77. She's got it at 58. And you know what? You know what's crazy? That's the last price that I picked up my fix and flip for in the same city. So she's got the discount. I can see that the house has character. It doesn't need a lot of renovation. I'm interested. I might be your buyer on this thing. So this is so exciting. We're seeing this come to fruition in real time. Now, what do I care about as a flipper? Because we haven't really talked about what makes a deal as a flipper. We talked about what makes a deal as a rental property, but what if you're flipping it? Well, the thing is, I'm renovating a single family for a person to live in, for somebody to live in. They're buying it as their primary residence. What is important to somebody? Guys, it's $20. Link in my bio, $20. What's important to somebody is their neighborhood. So are your houses abandoned? Are the neighbors' houses really destroyed? They are. Neighbors' houses are kind of abandoned. So this is what I'm seeing.
Yeah, the neighborhood is a bit questionable.
So the thing is, this house right here, abandoned. This house right here, nearly abandoned. Moving over here, this house right here, abandoned. This house right here, likely abandoned. I can see a board on the window right there. Now, there is something else that changes this situation. This area doesn't look like this anymore. This photo was taken in July of 2019. I was damn near in high school when this photo was taken. This photo is 7 years old. It's almost July 2026. That's July 2019. Do we really think that real estate investors haven't renovated this area? No, they have. So I should probably send my contractor to go check out what the area looks like, given that the photo is so old. But there's one thing that I can do to gauge the current location. I want to see if there's any crime in the area. No crime in the area. So that's really good. As far as Detroit, you're on the east side of Detroit. I don't see any shootings in your immediate area. You're your immediate area is pretty clean. So that's looking good. She's got a nice discount. Let's see what's selling over here. Now this is the key. This is the key. What makes a flipper want to pull the trigger on another fix and flip is whether or not people are renovating houses in this area. So let's see. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. So far, I think she has something awesome. Okay, so where'd that house go? What was it listed for? 75, right? 75? 77. So I'll put in a 76K price filter, 78 max, and then we'll go ahead and do contingent as well so that we can find this pending and under contract. And is it this guy? Yes, it's that guy. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so this is the one. And we don't have a very big area to comp. As you can see, we have a major road here and train tracks here. So we loosely have to be on this area. We've loosely got to be here. So I'm going to reset all of our filters and I'm going to see what's selling in the area. But first I have to make note of what we are. We are a 3-bed, 1-bath with 1,300 square feet. 3-bed, 1-bath, 1,300 square feet. And check this out. We're going to see if anybody else is flipping properties like this in the area. So, you know, what would I like to see? Well, she has it at 58. I'd love to see sales of like 120. I'd love to see 120 or 110 or 130, because I know I could pick it up for 58. Maybe I pick it up off of her for, 60 something after giving her a fee. I put in maybe 15K to make the property look pretty again, and I list it again. How much would that cost me? Well, let's say I buy it off her for 61,000. I give her a 3K fee, or more so my lender does, and I put in 15,000 of renovation. Now I'm in it for 76, but I've also got 10,000 in closing costs. So I know I'm going to be in this for 86. No matter what, I'll be in it for 86. So what would I like to see? $110,000, $120,000 sales, so that I know I can get my money back. Now it's a 3-1 with 1,400 square feet, 1,300 square feet. So let's see what's selling here. Okay. I'm going to reset all of my filters and I'm going to put in past 12 months of sales, as I can only look at the past 12 months. And in the past 12 months, 2 houses have sold here. One for 14K and one for 30K. So as a flipper, what do I think? I don't have the evidence that would suggest there is an after repair value for this house. As a flipper, looking at the past year of sales, it does not look like people are renovating in this area. And that's unfortunate, because the house looks good. It looks like a great property. But as I look right here, 30K and 14K, and that's the past year in a very populated market. So for whatever reason, people are scared of this area. People are like, I just don't really want to buy here to live in it. It could be that this is a dangerous area. It could be that. I'm not really sure. But for whatever reason, flippers who look at this are thinking to themselves, unfortunately, there's not a lot of evidence for this thing to be renovated for a profit. So my feedback on this would be, house looks good, condition looks good, rehab looks good. Neighborhood doesn't look like it's pulling its weight. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So how do we handle this situation? How do we handle this situation? She's new. She's got a property under contract. What do? We say, hey, and I'll actually write your message. Hey, I went to my lender to get approved for the purchase, and they sent me this. What about Burr? The only problem is that the rent compared to the price that you'd be in it for wouldn't make a lot of sense. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send a screenshot. These are the past 12 months of sales in the area. Nobody has renovated a house in this neighborhood in the past year and sold it for a profit. Unfortunately, they declined me for the loan. However, we could just make the payments to your seller. I'm going to say we could, not just. We could make the payments to your seller and pay your commission. I'm not able to get approved on this, and neither will other buyers. But if your client is open to it, we could do, and then I'm going to structure a seller finance deal on this because it's not far from being rent ready. We could do 90,000. We could do 3,500 towards your commission and 5K to the seller with monthly payments of 450 for 6 years with a balloon payment, parentheses, lump sum delivered on year 6. This is exactly what I would say to them and the exact photo that I would send them as well, okay?
Okay.
Really close, really, really close. Just look at your comps next time. Your discount's good, your condition's good, your location's good. Unfortunately, no evidence for comps in the area. Does that all make sense? Any questions?
Yes. I ran into that same issue the other day with another contract I had, but I understand. I saw this. I came across this when I was looking at the homes in the area.
Yeah. I would definitely consider the comparable sales in the area. Evidence is huge for a fix and flip. We want evidence that that thing is going to be renovated for a profit. And if you wanted a hypothetical deal that I sold for $18,000 in the Midwest, here's one. I sold this to a flipper. As you can see, they've now exited the deal and sold it again. I just dropped it in the chat. I got it for 100K. And the best part about this is the evidence. The evidence on this property is unbelievable. I'll actually show you guys while I have you here. If we take this zip code and we zoom in a little bit, this is the road. This is the road where that property is, North Kellner Road. And what is that property? Like, what are we looking at here? Well, let's check it out. It's a 2-bed, 1-bath, 750 square feet. So what we want is we want to make sure that other 2-bed, 1-bath, 750 square feet are selling in the area, because we don't like 2-1s. 2-1s are kind of shit, but you know what makes 2-1s not so bad? If other people are renovating them, if that's what the market likes. So looking at the sales in the area, let's put in a beds of 2 and a bathrooms of 1 and use exact match. Well, would you look at that? Would you look at that? Pretty insane, right? 2-1 for 230, 2-1 185, 2-1 180, 2-1 165, 2-1 175, 2-1 152, 2-1 152, 2-1 150. And what did we end up selling for? Well, we ended up selling for $192,000 right here. The reason the flipper pulled the trigger on this is because they had overwhelming evidence that a 2-1 could sell for 185K plus. So this is a good example of what to look for, but only if people are flipping 2-1s in the area. Because remember, most people don't want to have 2-1s. What was it listed for? Off market, no listing, low equity, off market, low equity, failed listing. We talk about those a lot, guys, and we're going to talk about those a little bit more today. Anyways, Miss Lula, you all situated? You all good? You know what to say to your realtor here?
Yes, thank you so much.
Absolutely. Talk soon. Okay. So we just talked about what it means for a rental property to be a good rental property. If I were to summarize what it means for a rental property to be a good rental property, 20% cash on cash return, 70% of list price, good location without crime in the area. And when I say crime, I mean violent crime, shootings, that sort of stuff. What else? Good condition, right? How do we figure out the return on investment? We talked about the return, but how do you figure that out? Well, I built you guys a program and I have the formula. So here's the program I built you. The program, it just comes with Hold My Hand Wholesale. And I mean, y'all would be pretty surprised. It just spits out your offer. Check it out. So remember, if we look at a rental property, like maybe the one that we were looking at previously, let's look at a rental property. Maybe we grab, zoom out a little bit, price, minimum. We were looking at one for 170, right? 170,000. We click apply. And then maybe we grab like one of these 185s, multifamily right here. Great. Here's 185K multifamily. If you put this thing into my tool right here, tools, deal analyzers, section 8 calculator, check this out. It's listed for 180,000. Let's say it's rented for 2,600 a month. You'd have to call and ask. Let's say property taxes are 200 and insurance is 100. And you want to make, I don't know, $7,000. Well, it's telling you should get this at 161, right? That's if you want it. That's if it's rented for 2,600, right? That's if you get it for 161, a buyer might pay 168. Why do I say might? Well, you haven't offered very far below list, have you? Sure, you hit the return, but you're not that far below list, right? So getting it steeper is better. 70% of list price is likely better. Rich, 13 deals, bro. Can you sign? If you hop in my Discord, I'm happy to review your deals. If the 20 bucks is too much, I get it, man. Anyways, so what makes a fix and flip a fix and flip? What makes a good deal for a fix and flip? Well, that simply comes down to whether or not there's an after repair value. That's all it comes down to. So let's look at a fix and flip that I'm trying desperately to get right now. I really am attached to Trinity Street. So this is a fix and flip that I'd like to flip myself. This is a fix and flip that I am personally interested in. $80,000 is the price that they're asking. And where would I like to get it? Maybe 60. So maybe if you're the wholesaler, you get it for 55. Maybe 60,000. Why do I like it? What makes that a good deal? Why am I interested in that, guys, right? Because that's what we haven't talked about yet. What we haven't talked about, and where is she, is why I like this fix and flip. So I'm having a hard time finding it. It's listed at 80. So if I put in a filter for 79 and 81, it should only show me 80K properties, right? No. Oh, God. Oh, it's down here. Okay, I found it. All right. So here's the property. What makes this interesting to me? Well, again, it comes down to the comparable properties. Do we have any evidence? Is there evidence of a fix and flip in this area? Well, I don't know if there's any evidence, guys. Ultimately, we have to check. So I've kind of drawn around the general vicinity of this property, guys. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to check. So I'm going to say, hey, is anybody here flipping properties? Is there any evidence to suggest that if I flip a property, it'll go well for me? Well, we're a 3-1 with 1,400 square feet. So let's see if we can find another 3-1 with 1,400 square feet, or I should say something at least similar. Well, that looks awfully similar. Look at this. This guy right here. Do I need to book a 30-minute one-on-one with you? You can, or you could hop in my Discord. You see all these people here? They're all watching my screen, right? So this guy right here is 1,300 square feet, 3-1. Looks pretty similar. Memorize how that house looks, right? Memorize this house. Memorize. And wait a second. Look at this one. That looks awfully similar. I feel like I've seen that somewhere before. Oh, wait. Yes, I have. It's a renovated version of that house that sold for $205,000. Wow. $205,000 for a renovated version of that house? I don't want to sign, not going to lie. Okay, well, you got to sign in order to get those under contract. But I'm doing a demo right now, so today may not be the best day for me to look. Most of the time I just take questions, but I'm showing people what makes a deal right now. Okay, so that's a good fix and flip. What makes a fix and flip a good fix and flip? The discount, the location, the evidence that it can be renovated for profit. The condition doesn't matter. It can be in bad condition. Now, I'm going to plug in my laptop. I'm at like 5%. Give me just a sec. Let me plug this in. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Almost done here. Almost done. And there we go. All right. That's rental properties. That's fix and flips. Now what? Creative finance. If you, who pays the EMD? The buyer pays the EMD after the inspection period. Before I jump into creative finance, I'm going to call this realtor because I've been trying to get them to accept $68K for some time now. Here we go.
This is Jacob Hardecki.
All right, nobody there. Let's move on. So I'm now going to pivot to more high-level real estate. This is surface level. This is basic. This is stuff that most real estate investors know. There's a side of real estate that nobody knows about, and it makes up every single deal that I have in closing as of today. So if you are the type to get overwhelmed and analysis paralysis, back out of this now. It's going to get a little bit high level here, but this is where the money is, guys. This is where the money is. So let's talk about it. Creative finance plays by a completely different set of rules. One thing that is similar is that there's still rental properties. You're still doing rental properties. Now, I would say we're only doing rental properties with creative finance. So you can disregard flipping entirely for now. Every creative finance deal that we do is a rental property, but there's two different types of creative finance deals that we do. We take over debt. I discussed that a little bit in the beginning, and we make payments. What do I mean? Well, remember when that woman, Lula, had that deal under contract and I converted it into seller finance, making payments saying, hey, my lender declined to give me a loan, but I could just make the payments directly to you. That's what I'm talking about here. So what are we doing? What makes a creative finance deal a creative finance deal? Well, I stumbled on this property in New Brunswick, Connecticut. It's 126 Jones Avenue in New Brunswick. It's in, I'm sorry, not Connecticut, New Jersey. Here's the house. I'll go ahead and show you guys. This is the house that we're looking at, listed for $535. Now, this is an excellent deal, and I'll start to talk about why this is an excellent deal. So if you are purchasing, and the 13 properties guy, I'll talk to you as soon as I'm done, okay? If you're purchasing a house for $500K, we talked about this before. How much do you need to spend? $535 to be exact. 20% as in $107,000. So if you're buying a property for $535,000, how much are you spending? 20% is $107 grand. $107,000, right? That's how much you have to put down. With closing costs, probably $117,000. So what would make this a deal? Maybe if you could get into it for $50K. Why? Well, typically you have to spend $117K. Wouldn't it make sense to buy it if you only had to spend $50? I mean, there's a couple other factors here at play, but yeah, that would be nice, right? Well, here's the thing, guys. The guy's asking $535. How's that going for him? Well, it's only been 4 days, so we don't really know yet. He owes $470. Wait a second. If he sells for $535 and the realtor takes 6% of the sales price, he walks away with $502 and he owes $570. So at his asking price, he makes $23K. Yeah. Do people always give sellers their asking price? No, right? No. How does he know what the guy's loan is? I use a tool called PropStream. It's linked in my bio. PropStream. I'll go ahead and link it right here. PropStream. This is how I find out about that. So This individual, he's going to make $33K at his asking price. He may not get his asking price. What do we think he might get? Well, if he's asking $535, I mean, I feel like $515 is reasonable, right? That's not a crazy offer, $515. Well, $515 less 6% that the realtor charges. If somebody offers him a reasonable offer, he makes $14K. He owes $570, he would walk with $484. It's called prop stream to find people's mortgages. Prop stream. No need to look, it's linked in my bio. So what I would say, guys, is with a reasonable offer, he's going to make 15 to 25K. Let's offer him 25K to take over his mortgage. What about the realtor? Well, they have to be paid. Great. Let's offer her 15K. But how do I know that's a deal? Dog, don't you remember what I just said? In order to buy this, you have to spend 107K plus closing costs. So here's how the call would go. Hey, when you buy a house for 500K, how much you got to spend? Oh my God, 100K? What about 60K? Like, what if I could get you into the same house for 60K instead of 100K? You'd want to do that deal? Great. So the seller just agreed to 50K down. Why do you have to spend 107K? It's crazy, but houses cost money. I know. It's a little bit of a fringe topic, but when you buy a house, they don't just give you the house. You actually have to spend money to do it. And when you're buying it with a loan, the lender requires you to put down a down payment, and that down payment is 20%. Somebody says you don't have to put 20% down. If you live in the property, you don't have to put 20% down, right? You could put as low as 3.5% down if you live in the property. Even less than that if you live in the property with a loan assistance program or a VA loan. But real estate investors, they have to put down 20%. So when a real estate investor is buying a 500K house, 100K is their down payment requirement. But this seller is only going to make 15K with a reasonable offer. So if I gave the seller 25K, they're 100% going to say yes to that, right? Because 25K when you're going to make 15K with a reasonable offer is great. And then if we offer to pay the realtor 15K, we just got into the deal for 40K. Maybe we don't understand why the seller would accept that. Remember, the seller's asking very close to their mortgage, so they're not really going to make that much money on the sale. So if the seller would take 25K down, right? And the realtor would take 15K down, you've got an entry fee of 40K. If we sent that to a buyer and we said, hey, would you put down 60K? You're saving the buyer $40,000. Do you understand? The buyer has to put down 107K to buy this house, right? The seller would take 40K down because they're not going to make very much on the sale. If you called them and offered the deal that you had under contract to the buyer, they give you $20,000. I've got one of these under contract in Clearwater, Florida right now, and I already sold it. $13,000 is my fee. Right? So what makes a good seller finance deal a good seller finance deal? Or a good mortgage takeover a good mortgage takeover? Well, for mortgage takeover, largely low equity. Also cash flow is important, but largely low equity. So for example, if I wanted to go to look at these people who aren't going to make any money on the sale, I would probably use lightning leads to do it. So I'll show you guys what I built here. If you go to your control panel, there's a tool called lightning leads, right? I'll show you how I got there one more time. I went to Buybox Cartel, buyboxcartel.com. And when I was in Buybox Cartel, I logged in with my Discord username and capital. Do you need capital? I'm from Nigeria. Not at this time, unfortunately. And then when I was in Buybox Cartel, I clicked my control panel and I went to lightning leads. Then if I search up a city like, I don't know, Cleveland, Ohio, and I look at mortgage takeover, I can find all these people who are not going to make any money on the sale. Check this out. This guy right here is for sale right now. He's listed for 99. He owes 98. Isn't that insane? This guy is asking 99. He owes 98. So how much is he going to make on the sale? Well, if you sell your house for 99,000, your realtor takes 6%, right? You walk away with 93. So he's not going to make money on the sale. He's going to lose $5,000. Isn't that insane? By the way, I don't have a license, guys. I think a lot of people think I have a license. I don't. Look at this guy. This guy's asking 234. He owes 227. He's not going to make shit on the sale. And it keeps going. And honestly, I'm going to list price low to high because the more expensive ones like this, their mortgage is going to cost them a lot, right? Their mortgage is probably, $2,000, $2,500 a month. That's how much this will rent out for. But this guy, his mortgage is probably only costing him $700 a month, and the house will rent out for a lot more than that. So if I price low to high, I can just look at the cheap ones. So this individual is asking 69K. They owe 59, damn near 60. They're not going to make any money on the sale, right? So we could call them and we could offer to take over their debt. Don't want to talk to the realtor? Fine. Switch from on market to off market and call people who used to have their house for sale, but took it off the market because they were going to lose money, right? Let's see if we can find one of those. Well, that wasn't too hard. This individual was asking 70K, 69K. They owed 64.4. They're not going to make any money on the sale, man. So what did they do? Well, they removed their listing. You see how it says listing removed? They took it off the market because they're not going to make any money on the sale. Now I can skip trace them and call them. No agent. This is the seller's contact information. Her name is Bernice Crane. That's her phone number. That's her email. Hey there, Bernice. Remember when you were trying to sell your house, but you took it off the market because you weren't going to make any money? What if I just took over your mortgage? I give you 10K. We'll give you 10K to take over your debt. Right? Very, very, very powerful. So what makes a deal a deal? What makes a deal here? Well, I want them to be in a position to take 10% down. Right? I want them to be in a position to take 10% down. By the way, everything from paperwork to education to demonstrations is available via the link in my bio. Right? So after you take over their debt, what do? I'll show you. Check it out. I never actually take over their debt. I get a contract in place. I get a contract in place with the seller that says I could take over their debt by selling the property. And then my team cold calls buyers. What are they cold calling buyers for? Well, this is about 4 months of checks. I can't even show you all of them. There's so many. You see how many there are? Let's grab a random check here. It's for $5,000. It's for $5,000. It's a finder's fee from March 26th. It's not that long ago. March 26th, $5,000. Right? So what I do is I get the house under contract and then I send it to my buyers. Or you get the house under contract and then I send it to my buyers. Right? We had a guy in, was it Nairobi? No. He's in Nigeria. He's in Nigeria and he got a house under contract in Cleveland, Ohio last week. Absolutely. His name is Chris. His name is Chris from Nigeria. Anyways, check this out. This guy was asking 90. He owes 79. If you go to Zillow, you can see he removed the listing. Listing removed. Why? He realized he wasn't going to make shit on the sale. So now I'm going to call him and see if he'll let me take over his mortgage, right? And then I'll call a buyer and see if the buyer will take over that mortgage. Yeah, if you want to talk one-on-one, you can book me for a one-on-one call in my bio, or you can just attend the class that I'm doing. So I'm going to call the owner. It might be their phone number. It might not be their phone number. Let's find out.
Hi, if you record your name and reason for calling, I'll see if this person is available.
Richard Taylor.
Thanks. Please stay on the line.
Ah, they didn't pick up the phone. I guess they didn't want to talk, but that sounded like a real connected phone number. Essentially, I would have called her and I would have said, hey, are you still trying to sell Amore Avenue? I saw that it was listed, but then it went off the market like a month and a half ago, right? Could I just take over your mortgage? Because you probably took it off because you're getting low offers. But what if you didn't have to lose money on the sale? What if I just took over your mortgage, right? Somebody says, try another one. Should I try another one? Sure, I'll try another one. Let's go to you guys want me to deal with a realtor or you want me to deal with the seller? Should I deal with a realtor or a seller? What do you think, realtor or seller? A lot of people say seller, so we'll deal with a seller. Let's call another seller. So I'm looking for another seller who is going to lose money on the sale of their property. Let's see what I can find. Well, here's one. Wow. That looks good, doesn't it? See the interior? I'm looking for the interior photos. Show me the interior. Oh God, you didn't show me the interior, did you? Okay. Here's the seller's situation. Oh, it's sold. Never mind. That's sold. That one's not available anymore. So I don't want to call ones that have sold. That's one thing that I'll say. Oh, well, look at this. Oh, nice. Oh, beautiful. Love it. Okay. Listed for sale 200 days ago. Listing removed. It was for sale, and then they removed the listing. They owe 89. They're asking 99. That's good. Is there anything better? Those are a bit high equity. He owes 68, so I could make a cash offer there. What else do we have? 75 to 105. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty good, but I like this other one. That's really close. It's 10K away. 10K away, removed the listing. It says sold, but you can see that was the initial sale. The initial sale was for 56. They did not complete the sale for 99. They removed the listing. Let's call him. Okay. Let's unlock his contact information. Here we go. Jordan, it's titled Join Hold My Hand Wholesale. Do I have to sign contracts? Not really, but it's going to be a lot easier if you're open to it. I'd like to talk to you after I'm done with my demonstration.
Please leave your message for 323.
I can't dox him on social media, but that's exactly what I would do, guys. And I'll see if there's one more that I'd like to call on here. Maybe one more. Yeah, look at this guy. Okay, this guy was for sale 260 days ago. I like to focus ones that were more recently for sale. 159 days ago. Okay. The 260 days ago one, I like that though, because his asking price is quite close to his mortgage. So he's asking 110, he owes 100. Looking at it on Zillow, They were trying to sell this property for 110. They removed the listing. Great. Let's give them a call. Let's try one more here. One more, guys. It is 6 p.m. over there, so I feel a little bit bad calling, but yeah, they can deal with it. No disconnected phone numbers. That's nice.
I'm sorry, the person you are trying to reach has a voicemail box that has not been set up.
They don't want
yet.
to talk.
Please try your call.
They don't want to talk. So you know what I'll do? I'll just shoot them a text. I'll just shoot them a text. Wow. This guy just texted me. He said, I'm on the way. His phone number is real. He says, I'm on the way. So he thought I was somebody in his life calling him about something that he's late for. So I'm saying, hey, question, would you still sell the house on 3306 West 5th, West 56th? Look at that. He texted me back. Do you see that? He texted me back. That's the same phone number right there. You see that? He says, I'm on the way. So he thinks that I'm somebody calling him from his life, whatever it is that he's doing. So the point is, these are real sellers. These are real phone numbers. Read us the text you sent. Sure. The text that I sent is, hey, question, would you still sell the house on 3306 West 5th? Would you still sell the house on 3306 West 5th? So that's the text that I'm sending, and I'm going to add them to my contacts. I'm going to say 3306 West 5th seller. Seller. And we got a hold of him. That's his actual phone number. So there you go. That works. What do I care about on a mortgage takeover? Cash flow. Cash flow. Why? Well, remember, if these houses aren't making any money, why are we buying them? Right? It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So we need these houses to make money if we are going to wholesale them. Now, the exception is if you get it for $0 down, that could be a deal as well. I have this one right here, 5082 East Diatomite. The seller's situation is they owe their asking price. You know, they sold it for $411. They owe something like $380 or maybe even $390. Let's check. Yeah, they owe $396. So this guy bought it for $411. He's got a mortgage of $396. Remember, when you sell your house, you pay your realtor 6% usually. If you sell for $400K and you owe $396, you're coming up with $20,000 to pay your realtor, $15,000 to pay your realtor, right? So what did the seller agree to do? $0 down. What did I do? I'm closing this week for $7,000 as a finder's fee. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that amazing? The seller wasn't going to make any money, so I got him to agree to $0 down and take over his debt. This does not cash flow. It is not a cash flowing house. So I had to be at $0 down. So if the property makes no money per month, $0 down. Okay? If you make nothing per month, $0 down. If your interest rate is crazy high, negative cash flow, the only way to do it is $0 down. So if you have a realtor and the realtor's like, well, how do I get paid? I'm sorry, I can't pay you. And am I even calling people like that? Only if they're off market. Only if they're off market. Like, for example, if I go back onto Buy Box Cartel and I go to, I don't know, how about Dallas, Texas? Dallas, Texas, and I click search and I do off market mortgage takeover. You'll be so surprised what I find. Check this out. Dallas, Texas. Ready? Equity low to high. This guy's asking 217. He owes 213. You see that? Look at this house. This guy had an asking price of 217. He owes 213. Isn't that the most ridiculous thing you've ever seen? Where did that damn house go? If we scroll down, oh, it's not a removed listing though. So that thing just went off the market. Let's check this guy. Asking 399, owes 391. If we scroll down, unfortunately that one sold as well. So we want to make sure that they didn't sell, right? Asking 485, owes 475. Let's see. Oh, come on. Come on. These are all sold. These are all sold properties. So I want to find one that's not sold. Okay, wait. Yes, not sold. This didn't sell. This didn't sell. Okay, so this guy right here, 55 days ago, he was asking 283. He owes 278. Isn't that unbelievable? Asking 283, owes 278 55 days ago. Let's give him a call. Let's give him a call. He's got a 2.9% interest rate. That's beautiful. So I just unlocked his contact information and I'm going to give him a call. And I could offer him a little bit of money because he's got a great interest rate. It's calling now.
Please leave your message for 951.
I can't leave his phone number on TikTok, but what I can do is shoot him a text. Did you still want to sell 3133 Summerfield? I'm interested in it. And I just shot him a text. Asked him if he still wanted to sell. I'm going to save his name in my contacts as the address -seller. And if he calls me back, I know who's calling. So here's the thing, guys. If y'all want to move into a house for $0 down, call somebody who used to have their house for sale and took it off because they weren't going to make any money and ask to step into their loan. They'll give it to you for free. Why? They're not going to make any money. And if you're like, I don't believe that, I did it on this one. Right now, this week, closing. Same situation. Seller was going to lose money on the sale. He didn't list the property because he was going to lose money. See, available. See how it says available? Nope, not really available. Why? Well, they're not going to make any money. They took it off the market. I called the seller. I was like, hey, why don't we just take over your debt for $0 down? He was so happy about that. You know why? He was going to lose money on the sale. Then I called my buddy who buys houses in Arizona and I was like, yo, $7K for this whole house. What do you think? We're closing. We're closing. We're closing this week. I make $7,000 off of a damn phone call. So I don't have to deal with realtors if I don't want to deal with realtors. I could go off market. I could go on market. What's the trade-off? Well, the realtor might be easier to get a hold of, but harder to deal with. The seller might be harder to get a hold of, easier to deal with, right? The seller wasn't expecting your call. The realtor is expecting your call. Okay, so there's two types of mortgage takeovers, and here come the hiccups. Type 1. You have a house for $100K, they owe $90K. What's the trade-off for the buyer? There is no trade-off. This is the most desirable way to purchase real estate ever. However, it's hard to get. Hard to get, right? Because this is an unconventional thing. You have to create it. It's not just sitting somewhere. Actually, yes, it is. It's sitting on buyboxcartel.com. If you go to buyboxcartel.com, there are people who are already under contract for this method of sale. You could just pick them up right then and there. Anyways, two types of mortgage takeovers. Type 1, you've got a normal ass house with a normal ass interest rate, but it doesn't cash flow and it has no equity. So what? It's still a house. You could still get that shit for $0 down. So if you have a house, high interest rate, no cash flow, no equity, it's still a house. Somebody would still like to live in it regardless of the interest rate. How can you make it desirable to our buyers? By the way, how do we sell these deals? You can either post them on Buy Box Cartel or you can send them to my team and we'll sell it for you. So somebody says, what do you mean it doesn't cash flow? The mortgage exceeds the rent. The mortgage exceeds the rent. On most of these properties, the mortgage would exceed the rent. So what I'll say is, on properties that don't cash flow, $0 down. Why would they ever take that? They're not going to make any money on the sale. On properties that do cash flow, what do you mean properties that do cash flow? Well, if you go to a market like St. Louis, Missouri, and you go to on market, you'll find beautiful houses that cash flow with no equity. Let's do price low to high, St. Louis, Missouri, and let's find somebody with no equity that cash flows. Well, that wasn't too hard. Just took me about 5 seconds, didn't it? He's got the terrible interest rate. He's got no equity. But you know what he does have? A mortgage of $600 and rent of $1,200. Mortgage of $600, rent of $1,200. That is inherently desirable. If we look at the property, oh my God, they did a price cut and they're not getting it. So I could just call the realtor and ask to take over their debt. Watch this. The realtor could have an absolute shit fit, but what are they going to do? They're in St. Louis and I'm in Portland, Oregon. Who's really winning? Notice how I don't even analyze it before I call.
Hi, if you record your name and reason for calling, I'll see if this person is available.
Buyer for your listing.
Thanks. Please stay on the line.
I use both back in town. Buy Box Cartel. JDREI. Make your own video.
Sorry, this person is not available. If you would like to leave an additional message,
I'll text them. JDREI. Dude, stop marketing your thing in my live stream. You're distracting people. So if you want to market it, go live on TikTok and market it, bro. I'm marketing my shit. You go market your shit somewhere else. I haven't said anything, but like, dude, every time somebody asks a question, you answer it with the wrong answer. So the way for you to do this yourself is just build a community by going live and posting videos and then advertise to them. You'll make so much more money than advertising to my people, because these people want to buy my stuff and they will buy your stuff or your affiliate because you said it's not mine. I get it. It's not yours. Affiliate, whatever reason it may be that you have to promote it, just make videos and then people will buy it. I'm not saying that to hurt you. I'm saying it because you're actually going to make more money and I'm going to make more money too, because now you're not distracting people with things that I'm not talking about, right? So you can stay in here and you can keep marketing it, but I'm telling you, you're going to make way more money by just making your own videos and doing your own live stream. I'm not mad at you. It's totally fine. You're boosting my algorithm by commenting this sort of stuff, but I'm just telling you, man, you'll make way more that way. Anyways, okay. So why do I like this deal, guys? It's everything that we just talked about, except for it cash flows. So check this out. Asking 92, owes 82.5. Do you get it? Asking 92, owes 82.5. Now, why is that significant? Well, when you buy a house for $92K, you have to put down $28,000 with closing costs, right? Right. So if we could get the seller to accept 10K down, a buyer would give us 5 to 7K. Okay, well, these are just fun words and thoughts that I'm giving you unless I can prove it, So I'll show you one that closed a month ago and I'll show you one that closes this week, right? Okay. So what closed a month ago? This one, for me, 5K. Buyer paid 17K down. I got 5K of that. Here it is. Check it out. This is my contractor's house. I wholesaled my contractor's house. You see, the house is worth 87. but he owes 61, right? He owes 61,000. So what did I do? Well, he's like, yo, I want to sell, but I'm not going to make a lot. And I don't really want to pay a realtor to sell the house. And I was like, why don't I give you 12K to take it over? Did I give him 12K of my own money? No, all this stuff is free. All this stuff is free. I offered him 12K down. And then you know what I did? I called up a guy in India who I know who has a lot of money. He's not allowed to buy properties in the United States because he can't get the loans for two reasons. He's in the Muslim part of India. So what do I mean by that? Muslims are unable to pay interest. It is considered haram or a no-go or unethical in their religion. I get that. I get it. Interest is kind of a dirty move. I get it. So you're not allowed to pay interest per their faith. I get that. So I called up a guy and I was like, yo, this loan is in somebody else's name. You're not getting your own loan and it's less than the normal 20% you'd have to put down. You want it? He said yes. He gave me 5K, bought the deal. He's not paying the interest. The loan is in somebody else's name, right? And it's lower than he'd have to put down normally. So this yielded me 5K off of a phone call, but that's a nice example. How do I know that that's just not one time that it happened? By the way, y'all need the address to confirm that this actually happened. How do I know that I'm not just showing you one pretty example to get your money, right? It would be very convenient for me to show you one pretty example to get your money. Well, what do I have closing this week? Check it out. This is Covert Avenue. I got it for 4K down. You know why I got it for 4K down? Can you take a guess? Say it with me. The seller wasn't going to make a lot of money. The seller wasn't going to make a lot of money. So what did he do? He took 4K down. What did I do? I called up a buyer and I was like, yo, 9K down for this house. What do you think? They said yes. Why'd they say yes? Because normally it's over 20K down to buy an 80K house with closing costs, right? Yes. So to reiterate, there are two types of mortgage takeover deals. There's, well, maybe we could have somebody tell me. Do we have somebody here who could tell me? We have somebody here who could tell me the two types of mortgage takeover deals? Maybe River can. River seems to be quite locked in recently. River, come tell us. What are the two types of deals we could do a mortgage takeover on? This is one of them, but what is this, you know?
So from what you said, there's either mortgage takeover that doesn't cash flow. That is okay if you get it for $0 down.
What type of house is that though?
A house. What type of house?
Yeah, what type of house is that? What could that be? What doesn't cash flow?
If the mortgage is
If the price
big enough that the interest rate kills the cash flow.
That's exactly right. So what type of house it is? Probably a retail house, probably like a 300K house, 400K house, something like that. Something like this property right here. Yep. And what's the second type of mortgage takeover? You got the first one.
A cheaper house, most likely that does cash flow.
Exactly. So cheaper houses almost inherently cash flow. Anything below 100K, it probably cash flows unless it's in the middle of nowhere and has no rental income. But why do I say that? Well, a mortgage on a 100K house is like $700, $800. The lowest rent you can get for a single family in the United States is about $1,000, unless you're in Flint, Michigan. So generally speaking, a house of $100,000 is going to rent out for $1,200 to $1,400. Your mortgage is like $700 to $800 on that shit. So taking over debt on 100K houses or below cash flows. And what can we do if it cash flows? We can put down.
Yeah, maybe 10%.
That's right. That's exactly right. And if it does
get a good cash on cash return.
That's exactly right. 10%, or even more than 10%. I mean, shit, dude, this one right here, I put down 12K. The house is estimated at 80K. What is that? 15%? And I sold it for 17K down. That's over 20% down. So why did that guy do it? He didn't have to get his own loan, and his religion made it make sense for him. But also not getting your own loan, huge benefit, right? Huge benefit. So if a house cash flows, you could put down more than 10% on it, a little bit more, not much more, a little bit more, right? If a house doesn't cash flow, your down payment has to be
10%. Oh, 0. Sorry, I had it back. I misheard you. Yeah, 0.
Zero. Why? Well, if you're a retail buyer, you're not going to buy a wholesale deal unless it's really, 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 really crazy.
Even then, I'd be a little worried that I'd get it dispoed. Do we have good connections with enough buyers like that?
The way that we can, so if it's off market and you get it for $0 down, yes. Well, I mean, you would buy it. Where do you live?
I'm in Bend, Oregon.
Great area. So if I go to Bend, Oregon, and I mean, let's try it. Let's try it. If I go to Bend, Oregon,
I'd buy the house I'm in like that right now. I'm renting.
check this out. And I price equity low to high, Bend, Oregon. By the way, this is how I bought the house you see behind me. Let's see if I can find a really good one. Yep. Look at this. Okay. This guy's on market right now. Oh, actually, he removed the listing. He was on market. I could also do off market. I'll do both. We'll look on market and off market in Bend, Oregon. So Bend. See if I can find a really solid one that is kind of a desirable market, but I know I can. I liked my on-market options more. On market, Bend, Oregon. Okay, so this guy owes 670. Listed for he is asking 670. He owes 602. He's got a 3% interest rate, a mortgage that will never, ever exist again. And he removed the listing. He was for sale, but then he was like, you know what? Probably not. I'll probably take the listing off market. Why did he remove the listing? The offers were coming in probably pretty close to this number right here, probably 630, 640. After paying his he's going to pay his realtor 25K, right? So
he's not making anything.
So if I get this house in Bend, Oregon for $0 down because bro can't afford it anymore, will you give me 5K?
Yeah, or I definitely know someone who would.
Exactly. Because at the end of the day, no qualification, $0 down, 3% interest rate. No credit score, no change to your debt to income ratio. I mean, oh my God, what a beautiful scenario. So yes, there are buyers because I would reckon there's not a single person in this entire live stream. Look at this. This person says, I'll give you 10. I would reckon there's not a single person in this live stream where if I found a house for them in their market at $0 down, they'd give me 5K. They would give me 5K, even 10K as this individual says. So yes, there are buyers. They're everywhere. You literally just throw a rock and you'll hit somebody. You could call a realtor and they'd have 1 million buyers for you at 5K down. They'd be so happy to receive that call. Hey there, Mr. Realtor. I saw that you had this house for sale. Did anybody else make offers on it? I see it's sold now. Oh my God, lots of people made offers on it. Do you think they'd want one in the same area for 5K down? How do you have that? Oh, yeah, I've got my ways. The seller is under contract with me for $0 down. I'll give it to you for 5K down. I've got so many buyers, you wouldn't believe it. That's what would happen. So we've got 1 million buyers for $0 down mortgage takeovers like this one right here. It helps if it's in a populated area. So what do you not want to do for a $0 down mortgage takeover? Rural. Don't do rural. Stay in places that people want to live. Phoenix, Arizona, Bend, Oregon, great options. So many other places. California could be great as well. Florida could be great. Texas could be great, right? Don't go in the middle of nowhere. Don't do this in Alabama. Well, you can do this in Alabama, but do it on the cheap houses that cash flow for investment purposes. Anyways, you answered those two questions.
One last question. Are there closing costs with mortgage takeover, or do you have to pay the lawyer to do the whole?
Well, you don't pay the lawyer. Gold Key TC does all of it for you. Gold Key TC. So the closing costs to buy your own property with a mortgage takeover deal, $6K, about $6K. So if you get one and you want to sell it yourself, or you just want it closed and you've got a buyer already, go to goldkeytc.com. Gold Key.
And if we're doing it through you and we want to wholesale it, we should always think about 6K as to put into the equation.
Right. That's right. But if you get it under contract and you're like, this is too good, I need to buy this myself, buy it yourself through goldkeytc.com.
Cool. Thanks.
Absolutely. All right, guys, that wraps up mortgage takeovers. There's only one more type of deal. What's it called? Seller finance. How do we find good seller finance deals? Well, honestly, I could use Buy Box Cartel to do it, but I like to use PropStream. PropStream could help me with that. Where do I want to look for a seller finance deal? Maybe let's go to South Bend. Let's go to a big area. I was going to do South Bend, Indiana. I'll do Indianapolis. Let's look for somebody who's in pre-foreclosure, but also doesn't have a mortgage on their house. So let's stack filters here. Let's do on market. So on market for sale, active on the market, value and equity filters. Let's do minimum equity 100%. And then let's do a stack of pre-foreclosure. Pre-foreclosure include. Notice of default auctions. Yeah, that's good. Okay, check this out. So these are all pre-foreclosure houses that are just sitting for sale right now. So this guy's in pre-foreclosure, no mortgage on the house. Why? He's not paying taxes. The county is going to take his house. So this guy, and that's a notice of list pendants, lawsuit pending on the property, actually. Slightly different scenario. But look at this guy. This individual is in pre-foreclosure and they're asking $90K. Hey there, Mr. Seller, before you lose your house, can we just give you your asking price but on payments? That's what you would do. So stack a pre-foreclosure filter, guys. Look at houses that are going to go under that are already for sale, but with pre-foreclosure on them. How else can we do seller financing? Well, sometimes people are asking for seller financing. If you go on, and by the way, what is seller financing? It's monthly payments. You can offer a seller a down payment and monthly payments for their property. So if you go to a market like, I don't know, let's just look at Michigan, guys. Let's just look at Michigan. And we'll do, or I'll do Texas. Texas, because it's huge, and then filters, seller finance. Seller will finance. So if we look up seller will finance, check this out. You can find people who are open to financing with nearly 10% down. Check this out. Owner financing possible with 15% down. How long did that take me? Minutes. Look at this house. You like it? No need to get a mortgage. They'll just let you make payments on it. Isn't that great? It's beautiful. House is listed for $355. They're looking for $45K down. What's the most we could put down? Probably 40. Probably 40. I'd like to be, I'd like 40K down would be good. So you can also look for people who are already asking to seller finance. What else can you do with seller financing? Well, with seller financing, guys, you could also do multifamily that doesn't work for anybody. Multifamily that just loses money like a horrible investment, but would work on seller finance terms. What is a multifamily that wouldn't work for anybody? Probably a 500K duplex. Probably a 500K duplex. You think we can find one of those? Yeah. Here's a 500K duplex in Austin, Texas. Check it out. This is a 500K duplex in Austin, Texas. Why would this be a good seller finance opportunity? Well, I'll show you right now. I'll show you right now. Let's say you buy this thing for their asking price, $519. $519. How much is your down payment? $110,000 or so. More likely 105. 105. 105,000. That's your monthly payment, right? How much is taxes and insurance? $2,700 monthly payment with about 800 taxes and insurance. So 2,700 add 800, you pay this much. How much does this thing rent out for? I bet about 1,600, 1,700 aside. Should we check? Yes. Let's go ahead and click for rent. Anywhere from 1,500 to 2,000. So here's a similar property. Similar property, 1,500 is asking rent. 1,500 rent. Right? So that thing is going to rent out for 1,700 per side. Right? 1,700 per side. So I'm going to go 1,700 and I'm going to multiply by 2, 3,400. That's what they'd rent out for. How much is my monthly payment? 3,500. So you mean to say that the deal that they're asking somebody to do here is drop $110,000 to lose money monthly? Really? And they're like, well, we're hoping that somebody will buy it to live in one side and rent out the other. And I'm like, hold on. You're telling me that your hope is that somebody pays $500,000 for this interior? That's what you're hoping? When they could live in a mansion next door? God damn. What's the chance of that happening? Pretty fucking low. So let's call. This is an investment opportunity. Let's read the description. Income producing duplex. Okay, I've read enough. This is not an income producing duplex, bruh. This is an L. This is the biggest L I've ever seen. So what could I do on this? How could we make it work if it's not going to work? Somebody says, I'm so lost. There's only one way to become unlost. Don't feel bad about it. You showed up today. The way to become unlost? Okay, we're on live streams now. Goddamn.
The report.
My TikTok. Click the link in my bio. Oh, I need a. Oops. Oh no, did I just lose my saved draft? Click the link in my bio. Join Hold My Hand Wholesale. You will become unlost. Couldn't load drafts. No. Did I lose my draft from today? Saved. Oh my God, that scared me. It's still not showing up in here, but maybe it will. Did I delete one of my drafts? I just deleted some drafts. Hopefully that allows that to work. All right. We're going to get back to this. Anyways, so I'm going to call this person and I'm going to offer seller finance. And even if they're not open to seller finance, they should be. And the reason I say that is because they're not going to, this doesn't work for anybody. This is a terrible, terrible investment. So I'm going to call right now. And if somebody's like, who do I JV with and Hold My Hand Wholesale? Guys, that's our entire model. We want to sell your deal for you. Submit it to us. We'll still give you the majority of the profit. You don't need to JV with somebody. Send it to me. We'll sell it for you.
Hey, thanks so much for calling. This is Jeremy Vandermoss. I'm sorry I missed your call, but please leave a detailed message and I'll be sure to give you.
I'm going to double dial him because this is such a good deal. Let's double dial. Yes, everybody's deals, guys. We'll sell everybody's deals. That's our whole purpose of Hold My Hand Wholesale. We want to sell your deals. You keep the majority, we keep 40%. That's how we do it.
Hello, this is Jeremy.
Hey there. Is Talby Lane in Austin still available?
It sure is. How can I help?
I'm looking to get pre-qualified right now. I'm talking to my lender. He's just asking me some questions that I wasn't able to answer, mainly about rent and occupancy on this. Do you guys have any tenants in place?
There is a tenant in place in Unit B.
Great. Is that a 12-month lease?
It is a 12-month lease.
Do you know what they're paying on it?
I do. I'll have to check. It is in the MLS. You're a buyer?
Yeah, I'm a buyer here. I find that I'm much more likely to. I haven't had buyer's agents perform for me, so I just call the seller's agent and ask them to represent me. And I've usually been a little bit more successful with that, in that the realtor keeps the full commission instead of splitting it with the buyer's agent. So ideally, I like to go through the seller's agent if you're open to that.
I'm open to it. I don't keep the full commission. I pass that on to my seller and just charge him my 3%.
Oh, okay.
And typically what I do, because I can only represent the seller, I can't represent you as well. It's just, not part of my fiduciary.
Buyer broker agreement, facilitation agreement, something like that.
No, what I would do is just assign you. Sorry. What I would do is just assign an agent to run the transaction. So not really a buyer's agent for you, but somebody on the other side to, quote unquote, represent you during the transaction.
Great. Perfect.
Are you an investor, or are you looking to?
Oh, the call just dropped. I don't think he hung up. I think it dropped. Hey, sorry about that. I think I lost you.
No worries. Are you an investor, or are you looking to live in one side and rent out the other?
I live in Oregon, so what the hell? Hey, I'm so he's not doing that. He's not hanging up. He's not hanging up. That was going really well. I'm gonna call him back. That was really strange. That was going very well. Let's give him a call back. Hello?
Yes, hello?
Hey, this is my office line. I'm not sure what's going on, but the call keeps dropping.
Yeah. I don't know what happened either. I don't know if it's an issue on my end, but I've got you now.
Yeah, sorry about that. You were saying
That's okay.
you were asking if I was an investor or wanted a house hack on this?
Correct.
Yeah, so I've got about 23 doors. They're through Texas, Georgia, Tennessee, Indiana, Pennsylvania. I've got one in Colorado. I live in Oregon, but the real estate is much more expensive here. It just doesn't cash flow like this sort of stuff. So I prefer to acquire all of my doors in the Midwest and South. But I'm an investor looking to make an offer directly to your client. I'm just trying to figure out the rent and the occupancy. I got one of them. We got a tenant in one side on a 12-month lease, paying an unknown amount, probably 1,500 to 1,700.
Yeah, I think it's probably somewhere around there. I need to check. I mean, they're 2-bedroom, 1 bath, so I'll need to double check. But do you have? Sorry, I'm not really in a place right now to where I can look this up for you and give you this info over the phone. I'm about to head out the door. Can you text me your email address so that I can send you? You still with me?
Yes. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just listening.
Okay, cool. Just making sure. If you can text me your email address, I'm happy to send you the documents I have associated with the property, the lease.
Lender just needs rent.
How many months is it getting?
Lender just so if you could text it to me, because my email is so flooded, man. It's just I get so many spam emails all day long. I'm sure you get the same, and all those brokerage emails. Brokers send me emails with their new listing announcements, but yeah, it just will get buried in there. Could we text back and forth, and then you can shoot me over what the rent is in that one unit and what the other unit might get. My lender, to pre-qualify me, he just wants to see what my mortgage is versus what their house rents out for to see if I can get qualified.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I can do that.
Perfect.
Can you want me to text this number or the number you originally called me on?
I am going to shoot you a text from my cell phone. This is the number that I use to call agents in the South so that they pick up. My phone number is 503, so I typically use the Southern area code to increase my conversions.
Okay, cool. Sounds good.
Anyways, I'll shoot you a text. Thanks so much.
Yep, sounds good. I appreciate you.
Talk soon. Bye-bye. So I'm actually going to wait for the rent to come in, and then I'm going to talk about where my lender pre-approved me. Now, somebody's talking about this is a JV deal. This is a daisy chain. That's a realtor, bro. That's a realtor. You know, that's a realtor. So what's my game plan on this thing? How's this going to go? He's going to send me over the rent. He's going to send me the rent. The rent is going to be $1,700 aside, $3,400. Then I'm going to hop on a call with my lender, which you guys also have access to. And we're going to say, hey, yeah, my client didn't get pre-approved on this. His mortgage would be $3,500 and rent is $3,400. And the agent's going to be like, yeah. And I'm going to be like, man, my lender's telling me I got to put down $110,000 for this. And I'm going to lose money monthly. He's saying he can't qualify me or anybody else. What are we going to do here? This is a losing investment. Thank you, Patrick. And then I'm going to pitch seller finance as a solution. As a solution. Does that make sense? Hey there, Mr. Realtor. What are you guys renting out for? This is the Gator method. The Gator method is about lending EMD to people. This is seller finance. This isn't even related to that sort of stuff. Hey, slow down. So this is a house that's advertised as an investment property, It ain't no investment property. Because if you buy this house, and I'll show you the property, you pay $500K, $520K, and honestly, your down payment on this thing is like $110,000, $120,000 with closing costs. Then your mortgage is $3,500. The house rents out for $3,400. Who is going to drop $100,000 for the unique and special opportunity to lose money monthly? Nobody. And I know that looking at the deal. Just looking at it, I knew it like this. I knew it like that instantaneously. But I call the agent and I play dumb to that. I'm like, well, I wonder what your rent is. I wonder what your rent is on this. And then we discover that it doesn't cash flow together. We discover that it doesn't cash flow together. And then I'm like, oh no, it doesn't cash flow and nobody can get qualified. Let's pitch seller finance. And then the realtor says, we don't want seller finance. And I'm saying, I don't want seller finance. I've got my lender on the line and he's saying he can't approve anybody for this. But we don't want seller finance. I don't want seller finance. Okay. I wanted to buy this for your asking price, but I'm telling you, this is a losing investment, not for me, for everybody. Hear it from my lender if you don't want to hear it from me. Okay. But we don't want seller finance. I don't want seller finance. I don't want that shit. We're doing it because we have no other option. And if you think somebody's going to buy this to house hack, the neighbor's house is listed for $400K and it's fully renovated. You want somebody to pay $500K to live in an 800 square foot Section 8 box? So you're telling me I got to become a doctor to afford this house, but my reward to become a doctor is I live as a Section 8 college student in an 800 square foot apartment that's stuck in 1993? And yes, this shit is stuck in 1993. Y'all want to see it? Yes. Yes, you are stuck in 1993. It's 800 square feet. So no, we are not going to have a buyer want to house hack this shit. That's not going to happen. Why? They'd buy the fully renovated mansion across the street. This is Texas. $500K gets you a goddamn mansion. So we call him and we discover on the phone together that it doesn't cash flow. And it's not about whether they want seller finance. It's about what the fuck are you going to do if we don't seller finance? You understand? So it's not, hi, I wanted to pitch seller finance. Do you guys want seller finance? It's, what the fuck else am I going to do if we can't seller finance? Because in the first one, you're presenting yourself, right? You're like, oh, well, Do they want to do it? And on this one, you're like, how do we do it? How do we do it? Right? Right. Okay. So that was me executing that in real time. I feel really good about that phone call. The realtor is going to send me the rent, and we're going to have another conversation with him tomorrow. If you want to see, click the follow button, and we'll go ahead and make that happen. For the remaining 45 minutes, now that I've gone through all 4 types of deals, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take questions. People have questions. I'm going to be bringing up random people. Asked for rent, pitch seller finance. And people are just going to ask me questions for the rest of today's stream. Now I'm going to make this last example into a video. Okay, let me go through briefly what the 4 types of deals that I discussed were. 1, cash deals. What are cash deals? Shitty properties for fix and flip, or beautiful properties for rental purposes. What do we need for those? A discount, a major US city, and a cheap property, sub 200K. What's the next type of deal that we talked about? We talked about taking over mortgages. There are 2 types of mortgage takeovers. Type of mortgage takeover number 1, $0 down house because the seller is going to lose money. Type of mortgage takeover number 2, $100,000 house where the seller is cash flowing, but they're still going to lose money. The first one requires $0 down. It has to be. It doesn't cash flow. It's a losing investment. It makes sense for nobody except a retail buyer unless you get it for $0 down. How do you find those? Lightning leads through buy box cartel. Lightning leads through buy box cartel. The 4th type of deal that we just talked about is seller financing. There's probably 2 different ways to seller finance, maybe 3. You could stack a pre-foreclosure filter on houses with no mortgage using PropStream. You're in pre-foreclosure. Let's seller finance instead of you losing the damn house, right? The second way to do it is, well, you might be asking for seller finance on Zillow. Your description on Zillow might say, I want seller finance. And the third way to do it is call somebody whose house hasn't sold or doesn't cash flow and offer seller finance, right? You want a course on all 4 of these deal types, like segmented videos on all 4 of these deal types, a breakdown of it? Well, I've got it right here in the Discord for you. You want a breakdown of all 4 of these deal types? How to get $0 down houses, all of this stuff? Well, you've got Get Started Cash course and Get Started Fix and Flips. So we've got Get Started Fix and Flip. We've got Get Started Cash. If we click on this, look at this. Here's the course. Here's the course right there. We've got Get Started Seller Finance. Get Started Seller Finance. Here's the Seller Finance one. Let's click on that. Great. Here's your Seller Finance course. And then let's get the Get Started Mortgage Takeover, right? Because we also talked about Mortgage Takeover. Get Started Mortgage Takeover. Here we go. Now, we're joined by an interesting individual on stage. What would you say if I told you that the guy on stage right now, Yusuf, lives in Africa and cashed a deal for $15,000 using one of those methods? Too good to be true? Chat, what do you think? What do we think? Yes, Egypt is Africa. Well, fortunately, I have the check. Here it is. So maybe Yusuf can talk to us a little bit about this deal here, but check this out. This deal on March 26, 2025, came from this guy, Yusuf. $15,000. In Egypt, somebody makes about $3K a year. He did 15. Yusuf, how did you get that deal? How'd you get that deal?
Just making one call, I guess, and just, texting the agent. That's all.
So you called and texted the agent. What time is it in Egypt right now?
It's 2 a.m.
Oh my God, you got to go to bed, man. So he's here because he wants to show me a deal. He wants feedback on a deal. He was very, very patient today. So we'll go ahead and give him we'll talk to him here. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to take some questions. Here we go. So Yusuf, what's going on, man? Are you asking me about your most recent deal on Glenfield?
Yep. So they inspected it today. Well, agent told me the inspection went well. Like all of the major systems were good. There was no any issue with the property. But we want to confirm with Joseph first. He knows the inspector, Kevin, and he knows that he moves pretty quickly. And he told me just like a couple minutes ago that Kevin moves quickly, man. Are you going to move forward or not? So I wanted to
context for Yusuf, because we had a great context day today. When was the last time you got paid from a closing?
3 days ago.
How much do you get paid?
$2,400.
$2,400 US dollars. And that's about what you'd make in a year in Egypt?
Year.
Yeah, a year. Okay. So the last one he closed on Apolline, right?
Yep.
So the last deal he closed was 1465 Apolline. Here it is. 14265 Apolline. The total fee was $5,000 or $4,000. Maybe it was
$4,000.
$4,000. Yeah. $4,000. Right, guys? He has another one. He's got another one now. So Yusuf, where did you find this thing? Did you have to like
Zillow?
Oh, you just went on Zillow. Okay, you went on Zillow. Can we share our screen on the address?
Yeah.
And what happened? What stage are you at so far?
That was an email. I didn't call him because that was when I was still studying for my exams. So I was just emailing. So I emailed him, offered him $60K. He accepted it, and properties rented out for $1,400, which is a crazy deal. All of the major conditions are good. So yep,
wow.
We're gonna.
So now we're trying to get you another $5,000.
Yep, you offered him $65,000 when you called Joseph. So that's a $5K fee here.
Okay, so guys, what he's saying is he's in Egypt studying for his finals. He sends an email. Hello, sir. I would like to make an offer for your house. Does Yusuf have $75,000 in cash? No, he doesn't have $75K in cash. He lives in Egypt, right? He doesn't have that sort of money. But what he can do is get it at a discount for a buyer who I know, right? So what does he do? He offers $60K, right? The buyer is like, this looks good, but it's awfully cheap. Let me send my guy to go check out the house. The guy checked out the house and he says, I like this. And then he said, okay, now that I've seen it, let's get it inspected. Because I've seen it, but I don't know what it looks like on the inside. Like there's a lot to check out. This property is like 80 years old. We got to look into this, right? So we had it inspected. And now what we're going to do is we're going to call the buyer. And this is the final push. If the buyer likes the inspection, Yusuf gets another $5K deal. If the buyer doesn't like the inspection, we might have to renegotiate, which is likely, but we'll find out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call the buyer.
What's up, buddy?
Hey, man. We had Glenfield inspected today. I was curious how that went.
One second. All right, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, this is the one with a 1,400 tenant in place. We're looking at this for 65. It was inspected.
So it was inspected today?
Yeah, your guy walked it today. The agent said that the inspection went really well, but obviously there's a bit of a conflict.
Oh, of course, that's what they said.
Yeah, there's a bit of a conflict of interest there, so I don't trust that.
Well, I would have to call the inspector and find out.
Do you think Quaid might know?
Well, if the inspector just inspected a day, it usually takes a day for them to get the inspection report together and send it over.
But so, he'd have a tingle about it, right?
The inspector would tell us. That's what I have to call. It's like Quaid doesn't know. Quaid's doing the same shit your partner Chris is doing.
So if you didn't get a call, chances are it could be okay. Could be is the word I will lean on.
I would lean on that being a correct answer. Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. So we'll find out probably tomorrow on that.
Yes. In fact, I'll probably give the contractor a call here after jumping the call with you.
Yeah. Call me back if you find out. This would make an awesome moment for the stream.
What else? What other deals do we have? Anything else lined up at the moment?
I did a demo day, like an education day. So I really did unbelievable amounts of deals, and I could probably call you in the next 10 minutes if something else came through. But I did a demo day today, and I just showed every type of deal that we do, how to do it. And then I executed the phone calls for people, and then I showed past examples. And now I'm taking questions where people will show me a couple deals, but I didn't look at a lot today because of that.
All right, no worries. I'll be here. Thank you so much.
I do have my 2 flips. We're waiting for a buyer on Merlin. I fixed everything.
We have the buyer for Merlin. I believe it's setting up for one of our clients already.
Oh, good. Let's get it re-inspected.
Yeah. Quaid says it's good to go, and then you got to respond to him in Slack. He needs assistance from you in Slack, so that way you could stay organized on buying all your deals.
Of course, and that's why I have my business partner, because I'm inherently disorganized, but I try my best. And then I have
you and I are exactly the same with that, buddy. There's no complaint there. So
good.
You and I are the same.
I've got one more, which I did, and I've been kind of hinting at it for a while. It's 11461 Sanford. And that's a cheap one. That's 137K, also renovated. I'm sure that you'll find some fuck shit in it. Just let me know.
One question about Merlin. I know one question. Did you get the permitting in place for the 3rd bedroom that you added on Merlin?
You don't need a permit to add the bedroom if the bedroom is already there. You only need the permit to expand square footage. We didn't add any square footage to the property.
Okay, you didn't add any square. Okay,
yeah,
thank you for that clarity.
No square footage. So if you carve out what a bedroom needs is a closet and a window and a certain level of square feet. And that structure was already there, but it was being used as an office. We just optimized it to be a bedroom.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay. Wonderful. Awesome. I'll reach out to the inspector. I'll get back to you. All right.
Excellent. Talk soon. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye.
So that's, who is that? That's a small hedge fund manager. A hedge fund is a group of, well, it's not a hedge fund. This is a small hedge fund manager. So this guy runs a group of probably 6 or 7 people, maybe 8 people. Together, they probably have $20 million liquid. Actually, I think one of them has a billionaire. One of them's a trust fund kid, and he might be a billionaire. But essentially, I call this guy, and I'm like, yo, your guys want more houses? And they're like, yes. I sell them my personal fix and flips. When he was asking about the permitting, that's for my personal fix and flips, because I also flip houses. We didn't talk about that at all today. But something that I teach and Hold My Hand Wholesale is flipping houses. Flipping houses doesn't yield 5K checks. Flipping houses yields checks like this. This is a $66,000 check from a fix and flip. Is it old? No, it's from April 3rd. It's like a month and a half ago. So I also love flipping houses. Houses for Wall Street. No. See, Wall Street is billions, if not trillions of dollars under management. A hedge fund is just, my friends have some money. Right? So there are publicly traded hedge funds, like massive corporate hedge funds. And then there's like, oh, me and my friends crushed it as lawyers. We crushed it as lawyers, and now we want properties, and we need somebody to lead us in the charge of finding properties. That's what it is. So I don't sell to any corporate buyers. Also, corporate buyers can't really buy anymore. There was a law that was passed. They can't really buy anymore because you have to see who's behind the LLC, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it's hard. But essentially what this guy does is he has like a group of 8 people. These 8 people, they have probably $20 million, right? They buy houses with that money. We find the houses for them. They turn it into affordable housing. So they're just investors. It is in the structure of a hedge fund, but are they a corporate fund? No. Anyways, I've got probably 20,000 contacts like that I've built up over the past 5 years. I'm serious. I know, not I know, but in my network, in my list, which is hiding with my team, I have 5 cold callers. All they do is cold call. They say, hey, I have a deal for you. Are you interested in buying? And they cold call those contacts. We email blast, we text blast, we sell your deals to them. Okay. So if you want to take action on that, like everything else I've said, there is a link in my bio. You can either book me for a 30-minute call, or you can join Hold My Hand Wholesale. Back to the guy in Egypt with the deal. We're going to hear back tomorrow.
Okay. Sounds he will call the agent, a contractor now, and he will call you back, or tomorrow?
Either or, I don't know.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right. So Here's another one. This woman, Nina, says, I have a question. So what are we going to do? We're going to bring Nina up on stage, and I can see this woman here, it could be Ashley, but I think it's maybe Ashell. I don't really know how to say it, but she says, I have a $550,000 seller finance. Great. Let's go ahead and bring him up, or bring her up. Sorry about that. Let's go ask some questions. So we're going to talk to the first person, which is Nina. Nina says, I have a question. Shoot, Nina, shoot.
Hey, Richard, how are you?
I am well. How are you, Nina?
I am sleepy. It's 1 a.m. my side.
Wait, I'm going to guess where you are.
Go ahead.
Wait, I need you to keep speaking. Was it cold in the place that you grew up?
Yeah, it kind of is.
You sound like you're from Eastern Europe. Am I in the right area?
Western.
Ooh, okay. Now I'm thinking it could be like one of the really small countries like Lithuania, or let me look at my map. So interesting. Wait, hold on. I'm going to try to pinpoint her country. Let's see if I can get it. I think you could be. Really? I was going to guess like Ukraine, Russia area, but that's not it?
No, it's far away from me.
I give up. Where are you from?
Oh, I'm in the Netherlands.
Oh, sometimes you guys have almost American accents. I met a Morika from the Netherlands, and even living there for 20 years, her accent was almost like she was an American citizen. It was the most interesting thing I've ever seen. But go ahead. You've got a deal, huh?
Yeah, I hear that a lot. I do have a question, but can I kind of like jump in with? You mentioned on the call before, you have some people from the Netherlands in real estate calling you, and I would like to connect with them through you.
I wonder, is this a previous call? Because I sell to another fund.
Yeah, it's previous call, and you mentioned something kind of like you do business with people in the Netherlands who are in real estate. They call you, and I'm like, I need to connect with them because I have so much to share with you and them on the real estate here in the Netherlands.
So it's another fund. It's a group of probably 20 people, 30 people. They're all Netherlands based. They've made it in business. They've crushed it in their own fields. And now what I do is I sell to their group. Their leader is named Kenny. He runs a group that teaches people how to invest in real estate when they've killed it in their other businesses. And they're based in the Netherlands. As far as sharing that contact information, he's one of our largest buyers. He buys probably 30% of our deals. Like I would say that 30% of our deals go to this group in the Netherlands, which is really interesting. So these people, so there's two things. I don't want to leak my buyer connection because it's proprietary information for us. And then the other thing is, as a hedge fund manager managing perhaps $50 million in assets, they don't want to talk to anybody who has questions for them because they're busy on their yachts. All they want are deals. So I guess the two things are, I don't want to leak my buyer connections. I'm happy to send your deals to them. But also, like, this is somebody who only wants to talk deals, you know?
Well, I think you answered my question on that because I have a couple of deals here in the Netherlands, but I was thinking kind of like, how can I do business with Richard on those deals here in the Netherlands? It's kind of like a maze in my head, but you already answered that, so thank you for that. But I'm sending you a DM actually on the listing we talked about on Friday. And the agent kind of like turn a page on me. It's kind of like he's requiring so much. And Pam mentioned kind of like hop on the call with Richard today and shoot him this email, and you probably would know what to do with it.
Okay, you want to send me the address?
I sent you the email, the DM, and address. Let me see, 1710 in Detroit.
In Detroit?
Okay.
Great. I'm always looking into Detroit, so I'd like to find another one.
So we talked about those two listings actually in Detroit on Friday. It's kind of like fixer upper.
Okay, let's check it out.
Okay, so both addresses I sent you through email, DM.
Perfect. Thanks. One moment here. I'm saving the old agent's contact to my phone just in case he texts me back. Dash agent, and then I'll text him and I'll say, we'll say looking for rental amounts in both units to get pre-qualified. And then I'm also going to send him my portfolio. Okay, let's go ahead and check out your deal now. Okay, so we have a house down to the studs. Down to the studs means it's down to the wood, the framing in the property. Is that the one that we're looking at? Is that on Lee Place?
Yeah.
And this is in Detroit. Detroit, Michigan. It says it's potentially off market. Is it off market?
Yeah, he took it off market because nobody is buying.
Interesting. I wonder why.
Yeah, he started actually with 190 a couple of weeks back, and then he went to 170, and I offered him kind of like 120. And it's now off market, and he offered through agent 145, and I was kind of like, I don't know.
145. Now it's down to the studs like
Yep.
this?
But there is much done on the rehab, new roof, new sidings.
I'll pause you. So my investors, the house that I just sent him that we're going to get re-inspected is this one. It's pretty much the same thing, but I renovated it. The picture you see here is when it was destroyed. So this is when it was destroyed, right? This is one of my last rehab projects. But essentially, my investors will pay 150 to 160 for these. The reason that they pay 150 to 160 is because that's where it cash flows at 20%. So even if your ARV on that thing is 200K, it doesn't cash flow at 20% at 200K. So I don't know who would buy it. Somebody would buy it, but you'd have to sit on the market for probably 3 months to find that person and deal with a ton of wholesalers. I'd rather just sell to my investors. They pay 150 to 160. So the thing is, your mortgage, if you're selling that thing for 250, which is where it would need to be at that price, it's way above what the house rents out for. Your mortgage on $250,000 is $1,800. House is going to rent out for like $2,600. So it's not a very good use of your down payment. So the problem with your deal is it's distressed and completely unlivable, but they're asking the after repair value.
Yeah, that's true.
So my thoughts on this are, it's down to the studs. It probably should be sold for 50K, right? Maybe 60K, because this rehab is still 40K left. And if I'm going to sell it for 150, so if let's say if I buy it for 60K, I'm in it for 73. That's with closing costs and your fee. I put in 40, I'm in it for 113. I sell for 150, 160. I make 40, 50,000, right? That's where it would need to be. Here, it's, I buy it for 140. I put in 50K. I sell it for 150. I lose $60,000. So the reason that this thing didn't sell is because your seller has a crazy asking price,
True.
Yeah. Here's an interesting question. Have you been stressing lately? You have a couple gray hairs. It's true, I do. You see them? There are a couple white and gray ones. Yes, constantly. Despite the amount of deals that we're doing and all of these amazing ideas and concepts, my group is in decline, and I don't know why. And it stresses the hell out of me. My brain immediately goes to, what if the whole thing goes away? What if the whole thing shuts down and we can't afford our baseline anymore? And I think to myself, shit, I sit here 3 hours a day, every single day. We've got amazing case studies on the deals that are happening, me saying, hey, this isn't closing, this isn't closing, and this isn't closing, or this closed and this closed and this closed, right? Yet the group continues to decline at about 40 or 50 people per day. So the gray hairs that you see on the side of my head are from us performing and doing what we've done and doing it better than we've ever done it, yet still seeing decline. So there's a big question mark. There's a big question mark in what I'm doing wrong. I'm doing something wrong. I have ideas as to what it might be, but I don't know what it is. It was at 10K. How many people now? As of right now, Hold My Hand Wholesale is sitting at 7,885. 2 days ago, it was 8,000 people. So we've lost 125 people in like 2 days, and that will continue. And I don't know where it will land. I'm not really sure. We've added more than we've ever had before. We didn't teach flipping in the past. Now we teach flipping. We didn't do 15 to 25 wholesale deals in the past per month. Now we do. We didn't have this comprehensive of education or as amazing group leaders as we have now. Now we do, or the resources. Buy Box Cartel finally works. So I don't know. We offer it for $19. It used to have 13,000 members. Now it's got 7,900 members. So we're almost half of where we were. Too much info. That is probably the key. That's probably the key. Too much information. Too stimulated, too much overload, too much on the menu. Yeah, I like that. That's what I'm thinking as well. So something that we're working on this week is condensing the Discord into just what people need, because even though we've got all these resources, it's probably overwhelming to other people. So I don't you don't think it's a mirror of the overall mental overload of what's happening in the United States? That definitely contributes to the gray hairs as well. But my sentiment towards the politics and everything that's happening is Trump was photographed with pedophiles his entire life, hung out with them, got dinner with them, was found in the files over and over and over again. And we just sort of shrugged our shoulders and moved on to the next thing. And I'm so stunned and so shocked and in disbelief that the president of the largest economy or one of the largest in the world can be a pedophile and we don't even care about it, that I just don't even have words for it. I can't even speak. I'm just paralyzed because a new thing comes out every single week. So I used to talk about it constantly and get super fired up. But honestly, you react to the first thing, and then before you can even react to the first thing, there's another thing. And you're like, whoa. I was still trying to process the fact that Trump is into children. We just bombed Iran. And then the next thing happens, and the next thing happens, and you're like, holy shit, I can't even keep track of how many horrible things are happening right now. So it's not to say that it's not important, but there's no accountability. There's been no accountability for a long time now. And I don't even have the energy anymore. I don't even know what to say. I just can't even do anything. But yeah, that's definitely a part of it. But honestly, I haven't been worried about that as much recently, even though it's worse than it's ever been. Because what are you going to say? What are you going to do? It's just cooked. We're just cooked. But anyways, yeah, I'd say the gray hairs are largely because we're crushing it. We're genuinely crushing it. Guys, I've got 2 fix and flips completed right now. I'm going to make 90 G's off that shit, which is great. And I love that. But I wish I knew why my community was in decline, because I will be honest about it. The community is the biggest moneymaker for me. It's the biggest moneymaker for me. And there's a big question mark as to why it's in decline. So I don't really know. I don't know. But yes, there are gray hairs. Yes, they are there. I am stressed out. Yes. Anyways, we answered Nina's question. Now we have, is it Ashley or Ashelle? How do I say your name? Ashelle?
Yeah, you can just call me Ash.
I'm having a bit of a hard time hearing you. Can you say that one more time?
I said you can just call me Ash.
Ash? Okay, I'll call you Ash. How can I help you today, Ash?
Yeah. So I sent you the code to your DM.
Oh my God,
Seller
you've got a seller finance deal in Cleveland, huh? This is excellent.
Asking price. Yeah.
Wow. Why is it so expensive? That's crazy. Guys, this is a duplex in Cleveland for $500K, but it's 10 bed, 4 bath. It can't be a duplex, is it? 10 bedroom duplex.
No.
What? What is a 10 bedroom duplex? Also, are you in Africa? Did you get this in Africa?
Yes.
Where do you live?
Nigeria.
See, this is what I'm talking about, guys. We've never had back-to-back African students doing deals. It's never happened before, but here it is. So I don't know. Anyways, crushing it. First of all, great work. And then let's keep going. So I see your terms here. Your terms are 550, 55 down, 1,800 a month. That's beautiful. That's awesome. Oh, my buyer's calling me for the other African student with the deal. Can I pick this up?
Yeah.
1 sec. Give me some good news, man. What happened in the inspection?
It's not good news. It's not terrible news.
Okay.
The problem is like in the back of the foundation, the inspector suspects some foundation issues in the back wall. Although he wasn't able to see it because they've clearly put like a layer of brick around the foundation, which shows like some bulging and settling inside the property. And in the basement, like the back wall was like covered up with all these vinyl boards. So you couldn't really inspect the back part of the foundation unless you ripped the boards off.
Okay.
Secondly, there's like 6 giant trees. One of them is raising up the sidewalk, the concrete sidewalk in front of the house. And usually the city would deem you for that. They had the sidewalk repaired and the tree removed. They already said the tenant areas are absolutely disgusting. Dirty as all hell.
So what's the verdict? What are we going to do on that?
Don't have it yet. I got to look at the inspection report. I just talked to the inspector.
Okay.
I'm just giving you some updates on the inspector.
Okay, so we'll figure that out tomorrow, I guess.
Like we said, yeah. So ultimately, we'll get some more information on that for tomorrow. But once I get that, then we'll figure out what the cost of all these fixes and repairs will be, and then we can move forward from there.
Huge. Okay.
Thank you.
I think the agent will be receptive to that. When you do know, can you ask him for photos of that so we can use it to negotiate?
We got photos and videos, so we will do it all.
Perfect. Yeah, send that to me when you can, and we'll see what we can do.
Perfect. Thank you.
Talk soon. Bye-bye. Okay, so sorry for the interruption. Ash, your deal looks insane. What do you need help with?
The agent wants to verify because she knows I'm from Nigeria, so she wants to speak with you and be sure she's speaking to a real person. So
yeah. So can I bring you up first thing tomorrow and we do that?
No, the agent says, can you call her around 12 p.m. in the afternoon or 3 p.m. in the afternoon?
I could do 3 p.m. in the afternoon.
Okay.
I could do 3 p.m. So you want me to call her tomorrow at 3 p.m.? Can you ask her about 4:30 p.m.? Because it's kind of hard. I've got a trumpet lesson. Could we do 4:30 p.m. EST?
Okay.
And I'll bring you up tomorrow at that time.
Okay.
Tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. Remind me to bring up ASHELE.
Okay, I added it.
Yeah, you guys don't see what's behind me? Come on. I do things other than real estate. So that's Eastern. I work in Eastern time, but I'm on the West Coast. Yeah. Okay, so let's let's talk to you tomorrow then. We'll talk to you tomorrow, okay?
Thanks so much.
Absolutely. Talk soon. And then I got to make a quick call before I talk to Juan, but then we're going to head out. How much do you pay for your plant wall? I think it was like $10,000. So I'm going to call my buyer for a $13,000 deal I have in closing right now, see if I can get an update from him. $13 property seller finance. What's your username? What's your username? Kings?
Your call has been
Okay. Juan, what's going on, man?
What's up, man? When you were talking about the group like declining and stuff, I just got an idea that when I joined the group, you know, I was in another bad wholesale group. I wouldn't say bad, but just not as good. And it was way more expensive as well. And then I was like, okay, I want to learn, you know, different stuff, right? So I went on social media and I found, you know, there's like 20 gurus that are all super popular and they all have their groups. So what helped me choose Hold My Hand Wholesale was that I was following you and Chris at the same time. And then I found out that you guys work together. So I was like, damn, this is like a 2-on-1. Like I'm not getting only just one wholesale, you know, genius or guru. I'm getting both of them together and they're working together and they're both this famous. Then there's definitely more powerful than joining any other group of just one guy, right? And I haven't seen Chris post in a very long time. So
it's true. He stopped.
Maybe that could help if he, you know, I'm sure he's busy, but he also has like 200,000 followers or something, right?
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he's got like maybe 150 on TikTok, 150 on Instagram or so. Yeah, so Chris used to post a lot and go live in here too, but now he gave himself a project, and that project is Buy Box Cartel, and now he's so busy he doesn't even have time to post. So if you text him though, he'd love that, man. That would mean the world to him if you said, hey, we miss your content, we'd love for you to start making content again, because you know he and I have kind of thought about that. And what'll happen is he'll post one, but Chris is very meticulous, and he won't post like a video that takes him 20 minutes to make. You know, he'll post a video that will take him 2 hours to make, and he won't have it any other way. So yeah, honestly, if everybody DMs Chris, tell him that you miss his content. His username is Buybox Cartel. Buybox Cartel. DM him, text him. Juan, if you have his phone number, shoot him a text. Let him know.
I got you.
Because he'd love to hear that from you guys. You know, I don't think he knows. I don't think Chris knows that y'all liked his content like that. I'm not sure.
Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Huge. Thanks so much.
Roger.
But yeah, we wanna reduce the Discord. Not reduce it, but there's just so many tabs. I think we could make it less. But yeah, guys, DM Chris, text Chris. You know, he'd love to hear that. So we had Kings here. Where's Kings? There you are, Kings. And we had Kai. Kai, let's talk tomorrow, man. I'm tired. His DMs are shut off. Oof. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll send him a video. Guys, when I say this, make the chat explode. When I say this, make the chat explode, okay? So I just got a comment here about how everybody's missing the content that you make, and that could be why the group is in decline or part of the reason. How many people here want to see Chris's content again? How many people here? Dude, look at this. I swear I didn't make this up just to make you make content. Juan came up and told me this. I'll send him that. That's part of it. I think that's part of it. The ideas are helpful, and I'm happy to be transparent about this because yeah, gosh, it's hard. It's hard to see 13,000 members and then down to 7,800, 7,900 because you're like, what did I do wrong? What did I mess up? I clearly dropped the ball somewhere. But anyways, we've got one more person to talk to, and that's Kings. Kings. Where's Mr. Kings? Kings. I just invited you up again. I don't know if you're willing to come up, but I just invited you up again. If not, I'll give away something of value. I have something of value to give away. You know what I'm going to give away? A 30-minute meeting, a 30-minute one-on-one meeting. Who wants to meet with me for 30 minutes for free? Well, this is for anybody. I'm going to give away a free 30-minute meeting. This will be for my Discord members only. I try to do a giveaway every single day, and I try to make it fun. I try to make it fun. So I'm going to do I'm going to try to do a fun question. Okay, here's my question for a 30-minute one-on-one. Which gender of penguins is larger? Male or female penguins? Are male or female penguins larger? Male or female? The answer is male. Male penguins are larger than female penguins. And that goes to Jake. Jake is correct. Jake, your penguin knowledge is impeccable, and you are to be rewarded with a 30-minute meeting. So what I'm going to do, Jake, is I'm going to give you my cell phone number. And please shoot me a text, will you, with your name so that I can add you to my contacts as Jake one-on-one so that I know to pick up when you reach out to me, okay?
I agree. Thank you so much, man.
I can't hear you very much, but I think you said thank you, so you are welcome. Now, everybody in the chat is freaking out that they didn't get the meeting. Guys, you can book a meeting with me. I don't advertise it too much because it's expensive, but now that the Discord's in decline, I will advertise it because I don't know what else to do. But, oh, well, that's an address to a house. That's not what I copied and pasted. Hopefully it works this time. There we go. Yeah, this is my link tree, guys. So if you guys want to book a one-on-one with me, it's the second link right here. It's the second link. You're welcome to book a one-on-one with me. I haven't advertised it previously because we didn't need to, but now with the decline, I'm like, you know, I don't know what else to do. Seller wants POF in the form of a current bank statement. Need a hand, please. Alton, I have that for you. You want a bank statement? I got you. I saw that, Alton. I'm sorry about that. Let me get you a bank statement. March, February. Do I have an April? I have an April bank statement? I'll just send you all of them. Here's February. Here's March. Here's January. Do I have another bank statement for you? Updated one, no. Screenshot, deed in lieu, February banks. No, I've just got those three for you. Those are the ones that are redacted. They all show more than enough income. So there you go. There are 3 bank statements in your DMs right now. I had technical difficulty. Kings, let's talk tomorrow, okay? Tomorrow at 2 p.m., remind me to bring up Kings.
Okay, I added it.
Got you. Jake one-on-one. Got you. All right, Jake, you just let me know when you want to do that, man. And now, if you guys are looking for proof of funds, I took a screenshot of my bank account last week and I dropped it in the Discord, and I just linked that link there. So if you guys are looking for proof of funds for a deal, there is a link right there in the chat. But what I'll do is I will update my proof of funds for you now. Maybe because you started talking about seller finance and maybe because you stopped talking about seller finance and started talking about Section 8. I didn't stop, but I slowed down, right? I slowed down on seller finance because I started flipping houses. And it's been awesome. It's been great. And it's turned these deals into something else for me. So I would say, yes, I thought about that. Hold on, there's your new proof of funds. Proof of funds is updated. It is now from June 15th. Oh my gosh, my birthday is in a month. Let's go. Wow, I'm 25. Big 2-5. Big 2-5 1 month from today. It's because you barely wore the pearls. Hey. Okay. Well, guys, I'm going to head out. I'm out of here. And thanks so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. It's food time. So I'll catch you all on the next one. And yeah, if you want to join Hold My Hand Wholesale, the link is in my bio. If you're on YouTube, the link is in my description. If you're on TikTok, the link is in my bio. Same thing if you want to meet 30 minutes with me, you're welcome to do that as well. Now, the thing about Hold My Hand Wholesale is we will continue to go live. We will continue to go live. One thing that people don't know about us is that we have around-the-clock live streams. This is Kira. She's a killer in our community. She's looking for a fix and flip, but she's already mastered wholesaling houses. And now she's going to tell you what's worked for her, just in case you want a different perspective. So Kira will now go live, I bet, for an hour, maybe even more than an hour, and she'll answer all of your questions. So guys, if you want a more intimate live stream, a smaller live stream with a less passive-aggressive speaker, Kira is that individual. Anyway, guys, I will catch you all on the next
Richard,
one.
call Jason.
I'm hungry and tired. I'm gonna
Just give him a quick call. He had to drive Jennifer to the hospital. I just think you should check in, say hi.
Jennifer?
His wife.
Oh yeah, of course. I'm sorry. I'm not familiar with Jennifer. I never.
Okay. It's all good. Just give him a call.
Talking about
I'm
Jason,
sure
are you talking about Jason Stowers or are you talking about Jason Ellis?
I don't know Jason's last name. RR.
Oh, Jason Ellis. Jason Ellis. Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Sorry, there's so many Jasons I know. But
No,
yeah,
of course. I'm just covering him right now because he had to rush. But go eat. Everybody's fine. I'm sure he'd appreciate a check-in.
I will. Sorry, I just didn't know it's Jason. I was like, who the hell is that? There's so many Jasons. But yeah, I'll catch you later. Sorry to hear about that, but thanks so much for filling in. That's so nice of you. Catch you later, okay? Bye-bye. Well, Kira is now going to go live, and she'll answer your questions if you have questions. So if you want to get started tonight, you don't have to wait for my next live stream. Y'all can just do it right now. Okay. Well, I am all out of here. I'm all done, guys. The link is in my bio. Thanks for hanging out with me. Catch you later, okay? What was our peak viewers for today? YouTube, thanks for hanging out with me, guys. I'll catch you on the next one. Catch you later.